Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show. The Philadelphia Eagles are 2-0 in an ugly, hard-fought battle. They win the football game 20-17 over the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Super Bowl rematch goes to your Philadelphia Eagles. They move to 2-0 to start the year. There's a lot of things to talk about in the game today. We'll be joined shortly by John McMullen. I'm here right now with the great Dan Sileo, host of the National Football Show. Big Sills coming right to you out of the gate, my friend. The Birds are 2-0, but man, was it ugly. Your initial thought process, Sills, after the Eagles win 20-17 today in week 2.
Okay, so you have 8 quarters now of an inept offense, especially in the passing game. And I give it to Jalen Hurts and those players that are on that team. They did everything they could to win that game. They're resilient. No question about it. It was a hard-fought football game, but boy, I'll tell you what, that situational play calling by your offensive coordinator heading into, week 3 now, when you have the Rams coming up on the other side, very uninspiring. Very, very uninspiring. The passing game, if you look at the numbers here going into this, I heard John at the halftime, off-time throws. There's no question about it, man. If you're encouraged by the defense in what they did in this ball game. And I get it. Patrick Mahomes didn't really have anybody. The play by Kelsey was probably the huge play in the ball game. Cool for Makuba to make a giant play, but 94 yards passing. And here, go on third down, too, on how poor they were on third down. 5 of 14. That offense was completely inept. Now, John says this all the time. That dude finds a way to win. He's a 60-minute football player. There is no doubt about it. But this is 8 quarters now. This is 8 quarters of watching the offense. They were just off-time plays. And how about this one, too? How about getting the fucking play in on time? You called stupid timeouts because you weren't getting the play in on time, and it was costing you timeouts in the first half of that football game. Andy Reid, hey, dude, you're not manned up normally with that roster that the Eagles have. You go for it on your side of the 50, and you go for it twice on fourth down, and you give up points. There's also your football game. Bro, you're not in the Eagles' room with talent. You needed to make it a fourth quarter game. They kind of did late, but they just didn't have the personnel on that side of the ball. And I'm going to say it one more time. You got A.J. Brown, you got DeVonta Smith, and you got Saquon Barkley, and you have Jalen Hurts. I'll say again, man, that's an inept offense right now. And we saw a little bit of this stuff before. There's just not situational play calling going on. But here, let's do the silver lining to this. They are 2-0. September's an ugly month for football. So you can't overreact. But still, what you start doing now, you start putting things on the calendar, and you start putting things on the chalkboard. It says things to keep an eye on. And they've got a ton, especially on offense. Once again, I'm very encouraged by the defense. They did a hell of a job. Smith showed up. Zadarius Smith. Makuba showed up. I was more encouraged by the defensive effort in this game today than I was, obviously, by the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, but we'll get into everything you just said there, Big Sills. Joined now by John McMullen, host of Birds 365. We'll be live with Birds 365 at 8 a.m. in the morning. Johnny Mack, your first thoughts. Eagles win the game today, 20-17. They moved to 2-0 on the year. It was an ugly one, John, but you win nonetheless. Your first thoughts, Johnny Mack.
Yeah, this one's not going in the lube. They're not
No.
The Smithsonian isn't calling for the tape of this one. Ugly football game.
Woo.
And by the way, you know what my first take is? Fucking Tush Push is done.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
John, now they have the convenient excuse of it's too hard to officiate. You even heard it on the broadcast. Brady's even, and Dean Blandino's like, I'm done with this. Yep. You don't want to talk about it anymore. You got people jumping off sides trying to hit the football. They don't call any of it. You know, you had this Drew Tranquil's trying to get the ball at the bottom of the pile. This thing's done. So enjoy it. It is cooked, and it's cooked because of this game. That's my prediction, number one. To Dan's point, I heard him about the offense. Yeah, the offense was egregious. 216 total yards, 101 passing yards. Again, we talk about this too much. I look, they win games.
Yeah.
All they do is win games.
Incredible.
But you start to look like this feels like more like the 10-1 start in 2023.
John, I saw social media go there. I was not ready for you to go there.
Well, no, from the standpoint, I don't know. From the standpoint of these are bullshit performances, and you're finding ways to win, and that's going to mask, and everybody's going to say, "Well, they're winning." Now, I'm not saying the Eagles are going to approach it like that,
right?
Because I don't think they will. But you can't just say, "Oh, they won," because that was a really limited Kansas City team, and they're fighting you tooth and nail. And I heard you also say about good for the defense, and yeah, they played well. But Dan, in the pregame show, I said, they're probably going to have a good defensive game. I don't know what that means because Kansas City was so limited. And at the end, I was kind of disappointed because all he had was throwing it deep to Thornton, and he was wide open, and he completely missed him, and then went back to him and got the touchdown. I'm like, what's going on with that? Couple blown coverages
over the top,
but it didn't hurt them.
Blown coverages, John.
Yeah. But it didn't hurt them. A lot of positives as well. I brought up at halftime, I thought that, Cooper DeJean, his ability to tackle in the open field, make things difficult. Nolan Smith on that fourth down stop, that was tremendous. I loved what I saw from Zadarius Smith in his first, opportunity being on a limited pitch count. I think he's going to improve them. But I'm not going to sit here and say, well, the defense has got it figured out.
No.
Because, boy, they're limited. And if Kelsey catches that ball, the game's right there.
Different
The
game.
game, that's the play of the game. And Drew deserves credit for making a play, but I mean, that's a pass that Kelsey's usually going to reel in. And he didn't, and that you take advantage. But now we're talking about that 2 consecutive weeks. CeeDee Lamb dropping balls, Travis Kelce dropping balls. That's not a formula for sustained success.
No. I'll tell you this, John. Let's just do this. And you and I, we both say it. September's the month of liars. Boy, I'll tell you what, they are nowhere near in the room with Green Bay right now. It's 8 quarters only, but that team is nowhere in the room with that football team. When you're talking about beating a Detroit team that just put a 50 burger on the Chicago Bears, and folks would go, well, wait, the Bears? And I'm going to go, like John said, the Dallas Cowboys are limited. The Kansas City Chiefs are limited. The only thing that kept the Chiefs in that football game was Mahomes' ability, like I said he had to do. He had to ad-lib more off script, and he did. Because, to John's point, he's throwing to dudes that could barely make the Eagle practice squad. I mean, for them to be in that football game, man. Hey, John, seriously, Johnny Wilson could start on the Kansas City Chiefs right now. So, I mean, that was really ugly offensively. That's really as it gets.
It really was. We got a lot of big takes there that we got to dissect. We're going to start on the offensive side of the ball. I want to welcome and thank everybody for being here. All right, on the JAKIB Postgame Show, the Philadelphia Eagles. I will remind you all, they are 2-0. Okay, they're 2-0. They get the win today at Arrowhead, a tough place to play.
Woo!
That has been to 3 Super Bowls in 5 years, or won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. So that's the good takeaway. Now let's dive into this offense. All right, both of you guys just said a lot about how inept this offense looks. And I do think fans are feeling what you guys are feeling as well and seeing what you guys are seeing with the offense.
Except on the tush push. Of course, they're jumping offside, but, who cares, right?
Well, I think, John, I think you're right. I think that tush push is donezo. I think it's gone. They're already talking about it. You can tell it almost felt like a concerted effort. Everybody was tweeting it. They can't officiate it. They have no idea what to do.
They really don't, though. It's not a
No,
lie.
they don't. You're right.
They're going to use that as an excuse.
Yeah,
but they really can't officiate this thing. They really can't.
No, and plus, I think also Dickerson, you saw him, John. He was laboring out there again. He was limping around. You saw him dragging his wheel. I mean, that also might be playing a factor in this thing too. But how about this, man? Kansas City somehow with that inept running game. I mean, did they outrush the Eagles in this ball game?
No,
I mean,
they didn't outrush. It was 122, 121. But
that was Mahomes. I get
294 total yards to 216 for Philadelphia.
That's got to be one of the worst offensive.
Let's talk about this. I want to talk about the passing, about the offense, though, right now, because through 2 games, 8 quarters of football, look, I'm not ready to say Kevin Patulo stinks. I know a lot of people already are. They're already tweeting Brent.
Well, I'm going to fight those people.
Next to Brian, John, whatever. But what is the problem here? Because I will say this as an Eagles fan. You have A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts in this offensive line. Again, I'm not ready to sound the alarm, but it feels like we should be moving the football a little bit better than we are with that many weapons. John, I'm going to come to you first. Where is the problem on this offense? Is it Kevin Patulo? Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it the receivers? What is the issue right now with this offense and why they look so stagnant?
Well, I think it's all of the above, as always. I know people hate that, but they want to blame it on one person. They want to blame it on Kevin Patulo. They want to blame it. Oh, he's just like Nick Sirianni. They want to blame it on one thing. The quarterback's not releasing the ball on time. The offensive coordinator is being too conservative. The receivers too many times are not getting open. They don't have a plan for the blitz. And by the way, I'm going to take credit for that because I joked about it. The only thing they got was the go route on a 0 blitz. So Spags hasn't learned that from the standpoint of DeVonta Smith gets the go route. They don't even know, it seems, what a hot route is. And that goes through Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, and now Kevin Patulo. So, certain things you want to point to, well, that's Jalen Hurts. Certain things you want to point to, that's the play call. Certain things you want to point to. I will say what I think is the biggest problem, because I'm over all that stuff, because I know what the Philadelphia Eagles offense is, and it looks dramatically similar no matter who the offensive coordinator is, because they're building it around the quarterback. I think where they are failing is they're too conservative on first and second downs because of Saquon's big season. And they're saying, well, let's just let Saquon set the tone. No, throw the ball when they're not expecting it, and maybe you get some things to open up. Right now, they're being way too conservative, in my estimation. And you had a couple nice runs from Saquon Barkley, but overall, this just looks disjointed.
It does.
We go through last season. You had a bunch of these games, 5 or 6 of these games with ugly passing yards. Now you have 2 in a row. It's not like it's new, but it's not improving.
No.
Sills, coming to you. Your thoughts on the offense.
14 targets, 80 yards between A.J. Brown and DeVonta. How do you think that's working? I mean, 18 targets in 2 weeks, right? 8 yards for A.J. the week before, and really a non-factor with Smitty too the week before. 14 targets, 80 yards, and to John's point, Saquon Barkley, 88 yards. You know what the difference was a year ago? You can live with 18 targets and 80 yards from A.J. Smith and DeVonta if the other guy's getting 152 yards rushing. 88 yards?
Well,
dude. You're not in the room.
If you take the one go route, which was 28 yards,
right, horrible,
to DeVonta Smith, You're talking about 73 passing yards. You're talking about the long play for A.J. Brown is 8 yards. The long for Saquon Barkley in the passing game was 6 yards. The long for Grant Calcaterra was 6 yards. The long for Kylan Granson was 5. For Jahan Dotson was 4. And DeVonta before that, I believe it was 6. What the hell is going on?
And John, it was a jump ball. It was like a punt.
How much are we overreacting? It was 2 weeks ago, guys. Like, are we overreacting? I mean,
no. Listen, no. This is what I said. 2 weeks. These are things to put on the chalkboard here, Zander. You're going to know what your team is as you get more into October. I'm talking about things if they start carrying over. John, you know the number one thing that coaches go to, and that's trends. I'm seeing the same trends. Okay? I mean, you're not getting your stars open. You're just not. And I don't think it's 23, but I can tell you this. That offense is not 2024's offense right now.
No, it's not.
Now, yet to be determined.
I mean, Saquon Barkley, he still looks good.
By the way, the 2023 offense was better than the 2024 offense. They just had a crappy defense.
And
I don't think this
is
over.
I mean, if Jane,
that's true. They turned the ball over a lot.
Well, they turned the ball over, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but he was 8th. I mean, that was the 8th ranked offense in the NFL, even with the turnovers they were in.
Yeah.
I'm going to point to you, and John has been saying, I don't know if this is the 23 team, which I don't believe. But
I don't either. It's too early to say that for me.
It is. But it's
now,
not.
what I didn't say it's the 20. What
I knew what you meant, John, in terms of
clarify.
wins. Yeah.
The assumption of people defaulting to, they won to ignore the problems, which is what they did when they were 10-1, and all of a sudden it collapses. Look, I said, I don't believe that the Eagles will take that tact. I think they know very clearly that this was a shitty game offensively. So they'll be working to improve, and they will improve. But for those people, those are the people I'm talking to, making the excuses, they won, and saying it doesn't matter.
Correct.
Yeah, it matters because they have to get a heck of a lot better than what they did today in Kansas City.
John, it's about the war. It's not about the battle. Okay. Yeah. What people don't get right here, what we're talking about the war, winning the war, which is winning the season and winning the Super Bowl. And that you start looking at all the things they did a year ago, Zander, all the things that happened with the turnovers in the first 4 games, the inconsistency of play, they were able to get into that bye, and they were able to adjust to what John just said. Dude, you got to really have a couple come to Jesus conversations in there. And I mean, about how you're going to move the sticks going forward.
I agree with that. I mean, look, I think we can all agree it should look better. When you have this many weapons and the weapons are as talented as they are in this football team, the offense should be moving the ball better. But
it's
I will
2 weeks now.
I know, but I will say this, Sills, and not to call either of you out because I thought the same like you both last year as well. Most people did not think the Eagles would be able to get to the Super Bowl the way they played offense last year.
Agreed.
Right? We were told, we all thought up until they got there, they probably can't do this. The passing game has to improve. Well, are we looking at a similar problem here where we're trying to say it has to be better than what it is, but
you're assuming, though, Zander, that
Barkley had 123 rushing yards in the football game, and they did beat the Kansas City Chiefs on the road in week 2.
But you're assuming that Barkley's going to have an 1,800-plus year. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. In the first 2 weeks,
that. I don't think so.
In the first 2 weeks, I don't know. He looks like you guys said. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. But I'll tell you what. Here's another week where the Spagnuolo shut down the wideouts. To some extent, they shut the run game down. Matt Eberflus did it last week. This week, it was Spagnuolo. Zander, you keep playing with money like this and house money like this, you're going to get caught. Eventually, right. Guess what? People like CD and Travis Kelce are going to catch those passes. They
gonna
are
catch
going
it.
to catch those
Yeah.
passes.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
John, I
They're
want
gonna
you to
catch it.
elaborate on something you said a little bit earlier in the show about the first and second down, because I'm noticing the same thing, and I think you pinpointed it very well with just the conservative approach on first and second down. John, elaborate on that and how you think that that's maybe a problem that's permeating through the whole offense.
Well, I think, it makes some sense because, Saquon was so dominant. But, it makes things difficult. If you don't have success and obviously when you're third and long in this league, that's what everybody shoots for. And then they bring, especially Spagnuolo brings all these unique pressures, and all of a sudden you're off the field. I saw way too much of that. And part of it early was penalties and negative plays and getting behind the sticks as well. So, part of it is just a clean operation. But, the minute, and that's why we always talked about last year, and they won in such a unique fashion. So it's similar to the overriding thought of what we're talking about. Well, they're winning.
Right.
Well, they won last year. So the assumption, and they've been very clear, you can't just stand still. Nick has said that. You have to keep evolving. Why do you have to keep evolving? Because people are going to adjust. Eventually, it might be slow, but they might adjust. So to assume that you can play this way and just ride Saquon Barkley, it lowers your margin of error.
Right.
And I think people are fooled by, well, how can you say that? They won the Super Bowl. Look, if you play this way, that's why nobody wants to play this way. Like a lot of people are saying, well, why don't you copy what the Eagles do? They don't want to copy. How many times have I told you that, Zander? They don't want to copy what the Eagles do for a number of reasons.
They don't want to, and they can't.
Yeah.
They can't because they don't have the O-line or the running back or the quarterback for that matter.
They don't have the patience because it takes 5 years to build an offensive line, probably minimum. As one as good as the Eagles, where you have those consistent, bell cows. Then you talk about the quarterback. Then you talk about the running back. And you have everything around them. So, it's easy to say, yes, they turned on the light switch. So, because we were having these same discussions, if you want to go back to last season, it was the Baltimore game, which they won. Ugly game in Baltimore, where Jalen threw for 118 yards. And then the next game, Carolina here, where he threw for 108 yards. And remember, Xavier Leggett dropped the pass that would have won the game for Carolina. Sound familiar? Now, didn't matter because they recovered. And the game after Carolina was the Pittsburgh game. Remember where Jalen came out and said, oh, that's what you wanted to see. And then he got the concussion, and then he was out for the rest of the regular season. I think people forget the playoffs because of how it ended. Washington, Kansas City, blowout. They threw for 131 yards against Green Bay. They threw for 128 against the Rams. The margin of error in those games, you're counting on Jordan Love turning it over 3 times.
And a great defense too, John. On the other
You're
side.
You're counting on Jalen Carter getting home twice in a row against Matthew Stafford late in the game, where Tyler Higbee's wide open because somebody slipped, and your season is over. That's what you call a margin of error. That's why you don't want to throw for 101 yards, 118 yards. Because they're good enough that they should be beating people soundly. And I don't think it's good to just say, oh, well, they're winning games.
Well,
that's all I'm trying to say.
Let me go here with this. I mean, first two games. Very unimpressive with. The first game, I was impressed by the way Hurts figured it out, the Rubik's Cube against the Cowboys. But, wow, I mean, not him per se. I'm talking about him in the offense. And secondly, we made both comments, John. I kind of backed up on it a little bit and said, well, I think the Chiefs will be a playoff team. I wasn't sold that they were even a playoff team this year with the amount of non-skilled people that they have on that team. I'm still going to hang in there that they're going to be a playoff team, but let's not kid ourselves here. We're not talking about elite football teams that are hanging around the Eagles here. These are not elite teams. These are not teams. Mahomes is the only reason that keeps you in the conversation that maybe they figured out like they did 2 years ago, and they ended up going on that run and beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl. But let's be candid here. These are teams. One team's in a regression in the Chiefs. The other team is just traded away Micah Parsons, and they kind of figured it out to hang in there. We are not talking about good football teams that they're just barely beating here. And to John's point, you've got A.J. Smith, DeVonta Smith, A.J. Brown, and you've got Saquon Barkley. That thing needed to be a 34-17 ball game, not a game where it came down to, hey, Travis Kelce dropped the ball for a pick, or Andy Reid with those 2 4th downs going for it on his side of the 40. I'm not giving Jalen Hurts 50 yards to try to get scoring points. I'm not going to do that. Not to that football team that scared me.
Andy Reid showed his desperation by going
sure
for
did.
it.
Yeah, he did.
So
maybe he had to do that because he knew.
I think he did. I think he did because I think that's one of the best things you can do is be honest with yourselves, and that's what I'm trying to say. This is a game where if the Eagles brought their A game, they win 35-10.
Absolutely.
They blow this team off the field, but they played their D game, which in a lot of ways tells you how good they are because they're still able to win the game. But I can't sit here and tell people that, that was an impressive performance.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. There's no way. Sills, coming to you real quick. Is Jalen Hurts or is Kevin Patulo a bigger concern for you right now in the offense?
Both of they all go hand in hand. Okay?
Exactly.
It goes hand in hand. Hurts again in the passing game. Some of those overthrows are on him. You can call a play, but if the guy is not getting it to you. By the way, also, I thought Kansas City put some pretty good pressure on him internally. Remember what we said, Zander? Because of Landon Dickerson and his injury, they gave up some internal pressure. How many times was Jalen Hurts hit in the face coming up the middle with internal pressure?
Yeah.
I thought he needed to get out a little more. And maybe I thought he needed to
I think Steen was getting pushed back. Sills, that pocket was collapsing quicker to that. I think that's a good call by you.
He had his elbow on Steen's helmet at one point because Steen got pushed back into his lap by Chris Jones.
You see Chris Jones talking trash on Hurts at the end of the ball game too, going, you didn't even have 100 yards passing. And you're trying to talk to me.
I don't know if he said that.
Talking trash on Hurts going, we call yourself a quarter. From what I saw, he goes like this to Hurts. You call yourself a quarterback, you need to have 100 yards. I would have fired back and went, hey, I just put my ring on when I left Arrowhead. So I might have barked back at him on the ring.
Well, they both have rings, so the ring talk doesn't help. But
yeah, that's true.
He didn't even have 100 yards, John, passing.
All right, let's close up the offensive conversation because I do want to talk about the defense. I thought there was a lot there to talk about as well today, and Chiefs didn't have much on offense.
Dude, Zadarius Smith, boom!
Well, we're going to get there, but I got to close this up. I need each of you to give me a response. All right, you can do it pretty quickly. Scale of 1
By the
to
way,
10.
he's a good dude too. Like to say there, good dude.
Scale of 1 to 10. What's the concern level in offense? It's week 2. It's September. It looks like preseason still, and we're 2-0. John, what's the concern level 1 to 10 on the offense?
Well, for me, it's 5 because they're 2-0. If they're 0-2, then it's
10.
A 10. But
Sills, what's the concern level for you?
It's September. It's the Liars Month. I got to see more than 2 games. Trends are 3 games for coordinators and players. I've got to see how they play against. Remember,
by the way, next week is a big test.
It is because the Rams supposedly have fixed their run defense.
I don't know about that, but they're a good team.
That kid, John, that run stopper in there. They put
Puna Ford, yeah.
Oh yeah, Puna Ford.
That's right.
Yeah, well, they need linebackers. They had that Christian Roseboom who was just.
Yeah. Then again, they took on the Titans, so I don't know where we're going there with that evaluation.
Well, they pulled away though. They
put up a 30-burger on them. Yeah. I would say this, Zander, for me, I mean, I would do what John just said. I'd probably put it at a 5. And I would go like this, okay? Hey, situational play calling, the quarterback. I don't think Jalen Hurts had a very good game.
All right, I'm going to give a grade.
Then again, I don't really think anybody on that offense had a really good game. But I hear your boy. I hear John say this all the time. That guy, it's 60 minutes. He only needs 1 minute to figure it out.
All right, I'm going to say this about the offense. It is true. I'm going to say this about the offense. I'm going to go a little higher than 5 right now. I'm going to say 6 or a 7 because of this, though. John, we talked about this extensively at length on Birds 365 last year, how the margin of error was this small. Now you're seeing the passing game, and I know it's only 2 weeks, but it is a continuation a little bit of last year. And if you assume that Saquon's not going to do what he did last year, then you're going to have to get more in other areas of the game. They haven't really shown that through the first 2 weeks of the year. They put it a lot on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. I think, again, I don't know how many rushings here, 9 carries for 16 yards today, rushing the ball. So we'll see. I mean, I think they got a long way to go on offense, and I think Kevin Patulo is just but
I do want to, I forgot, I wrote this down, and I want to throw this in. And I know people are going to go, oh, who cares? But Sills mentioned him earlier, but in a different frame. They don't have Johnny Wilson. They don't have Ben Sumrin. And they didn't have Dallas Goedert. Now, Dallas is obviously a good player. And people say, well, who cares about the other guys? Their whole plan, their whole run game plan, the big package included Johnny Wilson as one of the best blocking wide receivers in football.
Right.
And Ben Sumrin, they were going to unleash the fullback, and they still might with Cam Latu at some point. And Dallas Goedert, obviously, is a big part. So when they play 12 or even 13 personnel, which they did a lot against Dallas, but they came out with way too much 12 without Dallas Goedert. Like, they can't block with Grant Calcaterra and Kylan Granson, who are not known for their blocking. They were using John Mechie at times, if you notice, as the third receiver, and Darius Cooper to try to get some kind of blocking presence.
Right.
And they ain't Johnny Wilson.
No.
So don't dismiss role players and what they added to this team.
Brian Pumper will love to hear that one. I want to welcome and thank everybody.
I'm gonna put something else out there for folks against the Rams.
All right, quickly, go ahead.
If you blitz Matthew Stafford, there's none of those crappy ass receivers you saw on the field today in Kansas City. You got DeVonta Adams.
No, Puka's coming and DeVonta's coming.
Let me tell you what. One of those two guys are not going to be dropping the football on blitzes. So if you think you're going to blitz Matthew Stafford the way they blitzed, I would have done the same thing because he did not respect the wide receiver talent. That's why Vic brought that. Yeah. Because there was not big playmaking guys on the perimeter. So
we're going to get to the defense. I want to get to the defense.
Perimeter here when it comes to the Rams.
Yeah, no, you're right. We're right. We're going to get to that in just a second. I want to welcome and thank everybody for being here. We got a big crowd.
Remind me to talk about Puka, by the way.
Yeah,
I know I'm throwing you off scale, but later remind, because Puka is one. I love talking about what he does.
He's very tough there. He actually had a crazy good touchdown today, Johnny Mack. But I want to welcome and thank everybody. We've got 3,500 of you watching the show. All right, so hit that like button. Drop your comments down below. All super chats we will get to as well at some point on the show. So we appreciate everybody for being here. Guys, let's dive into the defense today. I'll say this. All right, not a lot of talent on that Chiefs offense right now with the injuries that they have, with the players that they have. Travis Kelce is obviously not the same guy, but that was not a plan I expected to see from Vic Fangio. A lot of blitzes in that football game. I thought Jordan Davis had a pretty strong game. John, I'm going to come to you to start on the defensive side of the ball. What stood out to you from the Eagles' defensive performance today in this game?
A lot of good things, as I mentioned. I thought, Nolan Smith as a run support. Like I think people don't understand what he is as an edge defender because they think, well, he's 237 pounds, he can't hold up. He's one of the most physically imposing players on the edge because of his want to and willingness. And you saw it on that big fourth down stop in Kansas City territory, which gave the Eagles the lead at a certain point. Cooper DeJean, his ability to tackle in the open field is a positive. I thought you saw Zadarius Smith. Imagine what he's going to add to this defense when he's up to speed and when he's conditioned and what he can bring that on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, that kind of presence. Little bit injury-wise, Jalen Carter was obviously dealing with something with his arm. Jordan Davis went down with a hamstring. Those things could be it might be because it was 90.
Yeah, I thought it was cramps, John.
You have to hope it. If it's a hamstring, because he came off twice.
But they didn't bring him into the tent. So when they didn't put him in the tent and they just had him there on the side, it made me think cramps. Because if it was something like a hamstring, they may have.
You're probably right because they let him come back in the game, and then they said, "All right, sit it out." So hopefully that was about the heat, but keep an eye on those two things as we start the week, and then I think the secondary is a work in progress. Obviously, you saw some blown coverages late, but that's what happens when you have younger players back there. But you got to give Drew Makuba credit for making plays. Like we made fun of him for getting run over by Patrick Mahomes. Then he missed another. Then he made that big stop on, I think it was Hollywood Brown, where it was sort of a mesh route, and he stops him a yard short of the first down. I thought that was a big, and obviously he made the big interception, which was more of a Johnny on the spot thing. But I thought there's a lot of positives from the defensive side of the football. I'm also taking it with a grain of salt. Again, I expected that to happen. I told people, be cautious. They're going to have a good defensive game because Kansas City's so limited. And that's what happened. They had a good defensive game. But I like the plan. Vic is like when you think you got Vic figured out, he's going to come at you a different way. And to Sill's point, he knew better than anybody. He didn't have to worry about those receivers. So he felt that he could be more aggressive and take more chances than he usually would.
Yeah,
I would say this point too. Where was Spawn in the game? I mean,
usually he flashes. Didn't really see the big flash today.
I thought they used him as the landmark, John, on how to create space back there. And that was how they were able to get guys open wherever he was. I thought that was the guy that, to your point, the best you said this in the pregame, the best defensive football player, the best talented players on the D-line, but the best football player is that guy. How that defense goes in pass defense, in my opinion, goes with Q and it goes with Bond. And I thought Mahomes moved him around with his head and put him out of the play and gave them their best chance to be able to complete some passes with those limited guys. Remember, Zander, I mean, when you're kicking field goals and Jake Elliott's kicking field goals, at the end of the day, that's a win for Kansas City. They want you kicking field goals. They don't want you sticking touchdowns in on them because they're so limited. And I agree. I think, look, Cooper DeJean in space, I thought I saw Kelsey school him once when he got him open it there in the open field. But other than that guy, a little too aggressive on the numbers outside a little bit. And I saw teams and I saw guys planting their anchor foot and spinning him around, getting first downs. So maybe a little bit too over aggressive. Maybe that's one of the reasons they don't put him out there on the numbers, because I thought he was aggressive out there, but he is really a great tackler when it comes to being in space. John, would you not agree? That was a pretty good tackling performance by the Eagles. I have to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Too, but I thought they got guys on the ground.
Yeah. Especially Cooper. Yeah, Cooper, that's the strength of his game. One of many strengths, but I think he might be the best open field tackler, and maybe it's a low bar in the modern game as far as cornerbacks go. But he's tremendous. I thought Makuba had the big stop. The linebackers were great in limiting the underneath stuff. It wasn't to your point. It wasn't you. I think we've gotten spoiled by Zach Bond. We expect the splash play every week, and we didn't get the splash play. But I imagine after I watch the all 22, he plays pretty well. But we'll see.
How'd you think the pressure was, John?
I thought it was better than last week.
Yeah, but not the manufactured pressure by blitzing. What'd you make of just 4-down pressure by the guys? Did you think that? Because again, you and I both saw Zadarius Smith, and he was an impact out there. But what'd you think?
I thought there were a couple good Jalen Carter rushes. Now the one he did that, and we were talking at halftime. They did a little stunt where he came outside, and that was the play that Patrick. He took a bad, undisciplined pass rushing route, but he was getting there. The problem is he lost contain, and Patrick took advantage of it. So, his presence, I thought, showed up. Morrow got his first regular season sack. That was late, but, maybe that gives him some confidence. It wasn't otherworldly, but I thought it was a lot better. And I think you see it falling into place the more Zadarius Smith plays. I think it'll get better and better.
John, Jalix Hunt is exactly what you said. Overhyped, not under-talented. And what I mean by that is he's like a green apple on a tree. He's just not ready to pick yet. And so that guy has the talent to be able to be somebody down the line. You see why they took him in the third round, but I thought I saw him get washed down a little bit. I mean, I saw some good pressures. I saw him running into contact a little bit too much and not picking a side. There's no doubt when Zadarius Smith is out there on the edge and he's out there on the edge, bro, it's the moon and the sun. It's completely a whole different look for the Eagle defense when Zadarius Smith is playing end versus Jalix Hunt. Jalix Hunt, I think they want him to be the rotating guy. And they eventually want to get down the line.
No question.
But that guy, I mean, the defense was completely different when he was out there. And I'm talking Smith. Zadarius.
Yeah. And the Jalix, the point about Jalix, I just, and my term I always use is people are skipping steps to your green apple.
Yeah.
They're jumping the gun. I mean, he's got potential, but he shouldn't be a starting edge rusher on the Super Bowl champions. They need more at that position. I think as a third or fourth guy, that's good. Ascending guy, and hopefully he gets better learning from somebody like Zadarius Smith. Part of the reason Zadarius is here, he told me on Friday, he got Brandon Graham's locker, by the way. They kicked poor Ty Robinson out of it. And they already mentioned Zadarius. They want him to, bring the young guys along. That's part of his job as well.
Yeah, John, they want him in the Nolan Smith role of a year ago before BG got hurt. That's the role they want his butt in. I mean, and then eventually, hopefully, he ends up winning the job from him because, again, that's what you bring veterans like that in. You want them to beat them out eventually because, again, home improvement, guys you drafted, self-evaluation, and also player development. You're hoping he wins that job down the line.
I tell you what, he looked damn good, though, Zadarius Smith out there.
He did.
I mean, still, the one thing I was looking
off
for
the street, he looked good.
That's what I mean. I thought you made a good point about, different guys take a different amount of time to acclimate. 33-year-old might take a little bit longer, but I think you saw the opposite. I think the veteran presence allowed him to really.
You know what he
was a force from play one out there. You could tell the edge was different.
You know what he reminded me of? When Sue and Linville Joseph came in, those guys were immediate impact guys against the run. Now, Sue was not the guy we saw in Detroit when he was a dual threat guy and 3-down guy where he could go out, get you 10 sacks, 7 sacks from the interior. He's not that guy. He was brought in to be a run stopper. Joseph was probably the better run stopper. Those guys came in and they were pros. They don't need training camp. They don't need any of that. Now you need football. And they don't want it either, right, John? They don't want any of that, but they need football reps. And that's where Zadarius Smith is right now. He needs football reps, not sitting on a bike. And so that'll
No,
come.
he understands that. He's been working out like that. Part of his plan was, well, he admitted, very honest guy. He admitted, he was hoping to get more money, but he realizes the situation. He's 33 years old. And when you turn 30 in this league, people look to go in other directions, whether fair or not. But, he didn't want to come in for spring work. He didn't want to come in for training camp. He was like, he probably wanted to come in a little bit earlier, but it was just to get into that shape you're talking about, Sills. But he started putting on his helmet when he was working out a couple of weeks ago.
John, he wanted to stay
just
in
to
Detroit.
get used to it.
I think he was disappointed that Detroit didn't bring him back sooner. And once the season started, he knew that they weren't. And so, again, I thought that's one of the reasons why he didn't sign earlier is because I think he had his heart set on it. Remember, because when he got traded, I believe from Cleveland to Detroit.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Well, I think there's a lot of, Obo was a former teammate of his in Cleveland, and he talked up the Eagles and what kind of organization they are. There's that mentality of, oh, you don't want to sign him before week 1. The Eagles wanted to bring him in for week 1, and then they said, the game plan's already in. Let's wait a week. Now, a lot of people took that as, well, if you're on the roster week 1, you don't have to guarantee his whole salary if you wait to week 2, but they guaranteed his whole salary. So that wasn't part of it. And then he's got incentives that can get it up to $9 million, which he said are very makeable. 5 to 15 sacks. He's definitely going to get 5 sacks. I mean, this guy can rush the pass. Is he going to get?
Did he get credited for a sack on that one today, or is that a half a sack, or what?
He got a half a sack. He got a half a sack.
Hey, John, I'm starting to see some people going here, and they're going like, Chris Jones didn't do shit in this ball game. They held the Eagle offense at 216 yards and 15 first down. I mean, what are you guys talking about?
Wow.
They absolutely stymied that offense today. So before anyone starts saying that Spags didn't do it, you held that team to – I can't remember the last time the Eagles had less than 225 yards of total offense in the last 4 years. Now, you see, there's people going, and they lost. Right. I remember the same people in 23 telling me how great that team was at 10-1. And I'm going, that's not the same team that you guys think it is. I'm not there with John. I'm not there with Zander. I'm not saying that. Okay, we need more out of September.
No, I'm definitely not saying that.
Don't sit there and try to tell me that these first 8 quarters that you've seen your team play offensively is a Super Bowl offense.
All right,
That's not a Super Bowl offense, my friends.
I agree. But I will say this about the defense as we talk about the defense right now. A lot more off-season questions existed about the defense as compared to the offense. Rightfully so. They were the best defense in football last year. They lost Gardner Johnson. They lost Milton Williams. They lost Josh Sweat. They lost Darius Slay. They lost a lot of those guys. I think it's been a pretty good output for the first 2 weeks of the year. Now, I know you haven't played the Chiefs at their top of their game. The Dallas Cowboys are whatever they are. They were in a pissing match with the New York Giants today. But I think pretty good returns for this defense. For a lot of moving parts, a lot of change coming in for the first 2 games of the year. Is that fair to say?
Wait. Let me ask you, and let me ask you back on that. So in the first 8 quarters of the season, the only true threat that the Eagles had to defend was CeeDee Lamb.
Couldn't defend him, by the way.
Is that fair?
He defended himself.
Right.
But they couldn't defend him.
I mean, if we're all taking bows here on going over Juju Smith-Schuster, and you're defending Juju Smith-Schuster, congratulations.
No, I'm not defending it. I'm just looking at the output. I'm looking at the total output.
I'm saying.
Well, no, I'm Zander. I'm with Sills here because, we talked about this pregame. We talked about it during the week on Birds 365. I said, don't be surprised if the Eagles have a great defensive game, and don't get overhyped by it. Who is out there that impressed you that they stopped?
Well, I mean, John, you say this all the time. Every team's got players. I know they don't have everybody they have, but it's still the Chiefs. It's still Arrowhead. It's week 2 of the.
Well, there's still NFL players. There's still NFL players.
I mean, you talk about CeeDee Lamb. Let's be real.
Tyquan
Thornton. He also got behind our defense today, and Patrick Mahomes egregiously missed him. He was like,
That's my
wide
point.
open.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
What was that guy's name? You
That's
just
the
heard? I've
point.
never heard of him.
Yeah, Taekwondo. So you guys aren't impressed at
No,
all.
he
with
can
this
run.
for 2 weeks.
He can run.
Okay,
He
I'm
can,
not.
I'm
impressed at all
impressed
with
by
the Eagle
certain
offense.
things.
Not impressed at all with the
I
Eagle
was
offense.
impressed by Nolan Smith. I was impressed by Cooper DeJean. I was impressed by Zadarius Smith. They have 2 Z's, but that's it,
Carter.
Zadarius Smith, Carter. There's little things. Yeah, there's little pockets, but there's still things you have to be worried about. And yeah, to me, the context, look, at the end of that game, when it was 20-10, they couldn't do anything. And they let Tyquan Thornton get behind him, 3 times?
Taekwondo got behind 3
That wasn't
times,
great.
John. 3 times and 1 wide open. Taekwondo got open.
I'll tell you what, I didn't think Jalen Carter had a great game today.
Well, I didn't think he had a great game by his standards, but I thought you saw his impact when
I
he
thought
was
he
on the
collapsed the
field.
pocket, though.
Yeah,
I think my standard on him might be too high. I might have to lower that.
No, get him another game, Zander. It's September. Hang in there.
I know, I'm with you. I'm just saying.
No,
I
let's
think
hang
the
in there.
defense is looking better than I was expecting them to. I just said that. You guys don't agree, which is fine. But I wasn't super impressed by Jalen Carter.
I went and locked down Taekwondo today. I was really impressed. I mean, hey, go get him.
By the way,
Mitchell like got beat on that, or was that a busted coverage that he tried to make up for?
That's Vic's. See, that's Vic's defense, man.
Yeah.
Reid took the underneath receiver. It might have been Reid's responsibility
Ran across
as the backup,
Yep.
as the last man, and he took the bait. Or it could have been Quinion blowing the coverage. I don't know. I'll ask Vic.
Yeah, right.
And he'll probably tell me, but I can't tell you that right now.
It's going to be interesting.
The assumption that but when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, the assumption that the closest defender is the one getting beat is not always correct.
That's correct. Especially when you're running too high. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
The guy underneath traditionally is not the one at fault. It's the guy over the top. That they run. It's almost like
My guess on that play is Reid took the cheese and it's Reid's fault. That's my guess.
That's how I read it, John, was Reid Blankenship's issue.
I was pretty impressive by Quinion. Quinion almost got back there. Now he didn't, but he almost did.
If it was Reid's fault, it was impressive.
Yeah, right.
If it was not Reid's fault, then it was unimpressive. That's my point.
Another positive I would say from this game, I'll see if you guys agree or not. I think the special teams has been a pleasant surprise to start the year. Specifically, Jake Elliott, who has just looked completely back to himself, is booting.
The punter.
The punter, Braden Mann. That's where I was
awesome.
going next. He's awesome, is right. Braden Mann is a beast of a punter.
So is Jake. I mean, Jake's making 58-yard field goals look like that.
Hey, John, he could have made that from 68, one he hit up on the net.
That 51-yarder looked like an extra point to him.
Yeah.
He's bounced back. I got shouted down. I never stop talking about these special teams. These special teams have been great.
Yeah,
they have. They have. I thought the punt cover. I thought the punt coverage was great today. I tell you, Michael Clay. Since that first year in 21, dude, he's got a good unit, man. And I think Howie's put some really nice players on that team for him, and they've been able. By the way, because you're so talented at linebacker, you're able to put people like Trotter on that and punt coverage, kick coverage. When you got players like that involved in a team like that, you win field position. Special teams are so essential, especially when you're trying to maturing a defense, is that you're giving your defense great field position to work with. And I thought they did that entire game. Really, their special teams have been really good so far in 8 quarters.
I was hoping to see Tank Bigsby on kick return. I think they kicked away from him intentionally. They went to Mechie over and over again there.
Yeah, he was back there, but you're kind of at the mercy of where the kicker's going to kick it. And Mechie got both of them. So, you'll get to see him eventually. They'll kick it to him. And we'll see how that works out. Look for Cam Latu too. He's an Alabama.
He had a
guy.
big block on that first. I think that
he's
first
good. He's a good special teams
John,
player. He'll be.
How high do you think the flame will be come Monday on Kevin Patulo? Unwarranted or not? How high do you think that flame?
I mean, what are you talking about? WIP flame or
media flame? Media flame. How high do you think the flame?
Well, even sanity media flame or WIP media flame.
Wait, John. Sileo, IP, insanity flame. Go down that
Sileo drops himself right in the bucket. At least you know what you're doing, Phil.
Will you?
It is going to be very hot amongst the.
Wait, but I'll say this. I mean,
amongst media, the hot take people, it's going to be very
all
hot.
over. It's funny. It's like the Eagle. It's like I know it because I live here and I get it. Philly fans all over my social media timeline are absolutely ripping Kevin Patulo. Then we come on the show, we say one bad thing about Kevin Patulo, and they're mad at it. They're mad at us for talking about it. It's like, all right, everybody.
But it's Patulo and Hurts.
Yeah, it's the insanity. It's the same thing. You know me. I can't stand when everybody boils it down to quarterback versus quarterback. I can't stand what's the problem? The problem's Kevin Patulo. All right, you're out of the conversation. You don't belong in the conversation.
Answer me this, all right? Because I agree.
It's execution and situational play calling.
All right, answer me this. In the first half, there was a play that Jalen Hurts was in the pocket with a clean pocket for 5 seconds.
Yeah,
legitimately
that's
5
Jalen
seconds.
Hurts.
He didn't throw the ball, and then he threw it away, and or checked it down. I'm like, Hurts barely checks it down to begin with. Now he's checking it down after 5 seconds. Is nobody open? Is he not finding? I got to watch.
I have to watch the film.
Well, we talked about this in the pregame. Windows in the NFL, if you don't throw on time, it's going to look bad,
right?
Because you're going to pull it down, and then it starts the ugly stuff. So it's very hard for him. And when the all-22 comes out, we'll get to see. It's very hard for me to believe that A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith are never open if you're throwing the football on time.
14 targets, John, 80 yards in week 2.
Well, that's another thing. Now, if you want to blame Kevin, Kevin's part of it. I'm not excusing Kevin, and I like him personally, and I'm not excusing him. He's part of the problem. And part of the problem is I think they're too conservative. I think they're too beholden to ball security. I think they're too focused on we got to ride Saquon, and they have to evolve this thing.
Yeah, but John, that conservatism that they have in their play calling and not turning the ball over,
they want to Super Bowl.
The play in the game was the turnover, and that's how I think they're winning ball games.
I agree, John. Or Sills, that was the play.
I agree with you, John.
If the Chiefs scored there, that would have been a way different football game.
If they scored that touchdown, the game's different.
Yeah.
Look, I tell you all the time. And this is not my speculation. This is how they look at things. 2 stats: turnovers, explosive plays.
Right.
That's it. That's all they care about. If they win both of those battles, they're going to win the game.
Well, they better have a conversation about explosive plays then, because they had one of them today to DeVonta Smith, and it was a prayer.
Ton of checkdowns today. Yeah. I couldn't believe what I was watching a little bit. A lot of under the stick stuff, which is like one of the first times I've seen under the stick throws. There were quite a few of them. Barkley had, I don't know how many catches Barkley had, but Barkley was somewhat, part of the passing game here too. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there were a lot of, hey, John,
really
had
he
was
more
stuff.
Part of it last week. He had 2 catches.
A lot of underneath stuff today.
By the way, it is coming out. Sileo, you were correct on Chris Jones chirping. I'll get your guys' comment on this. Chris Jones says, you don't even have 100 yards at the line of scrimmage at the end of the game. I assume talking to Jalen Hurts. And Hurts
talking
back with, we won the effing game. Shut your ass up. That's Jalen Hurts.
Hey, wait. Bill Moss texts me. He texts me that. He goes, you see what Chris Jones did at the line of scrimmage? I go, no. He goes up to Hurts. He looks him right in the face. He goes, you need to have 100 yards. You call yourself a quarterback?
Oh, man. Well, Chris Jones is chirping. I think he's got it right. But
look,
hey, God, this is the stuff we talk about.
Guys
like Carter. This is what goes on in there.
What do you think they talk about? What do you think? How's your family?
Hey,
everybody
you call
loves it when
yourself a quarterback.
everybody loves it when BG does it. When the other team does it, they hate it. But
I don't hate it. I was just saying it because it's got making the rounds on social. I figured I'd get some comments from the boys on it.
Yeah. I like that stuff. It makes for a great rivalry. I'm
Well,
good.
yeah, no, it does.
You know,
It does.
I don't have a problem with that.
You know, he's got, I think he had 152 last week, I think was the number.
Yeah.
And the number this week is 101.
Hey, John,
I mean,
the guy at Army, John, a year ago was throwing for 100 yards.
Don't do that to me again. What's that kid's name? Bryson Daly or something?
Bryson Daly threw for 100 yards, John.
oh, Bright. Yeah, he's terrible. I don't know if that continues. I don't think people are going to be happy, but I don't think it's going to continue.
As long as you keep winning, man.
Well, John, can you answer me this? And I'm not trying to be the one that's questioning it here, but I do get asked the question as the host of the show. You don't think it's going to continue, John? They were the 29th ranked passing offense in football last year. Now, hey, it didn't matter, right? They ran their way to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, sometimes
we had a parade down Broad Street. Well, now 2 weeks in, the passing game still doesn't look that great. What makes you think it's going to change, or why do you say that?
It's not.
Well, Pittsburgh, Washington, Kansas City.
Right.
They'll have games where they get it going.
That's right. It'll be games like that on the schedule. It won't be consistent. The key in this whole thing is Barkley not going for 138, 140 at 6'2" a carry. Last year, this guy was 6'2", 6'5" a carry. Think about that when you have the ball in your hand. Every time Saquon Barkley touched the ball, right? Every 2 times, he's getting you first downs. This guy's getting you first downs. You don't have to throw the ball. When you're 3-something a carry, bro, the difference in that offense is Barkley not getting 6'5" a carry. I don't know what he had in this one, John.
22 carries for 88 yards, so about 4 yards.
4 yards carry.
Last year it was 6'5" a carry.
Yeah, it's got to get better. But they're 2-0. They've won 16 consecutive games where Jalen Hurts has started and finished. They're almost at a full NFL season.
Yeah.
Crazy great.
That is pretty great.
And their record on the road is insane.
But where I do think you guys give good context, and I think every fan should feel this as well, is we have seen that the record sometimes can be hollow. It doesn't tell the full story.
Oh, yeah.
So 2-0 is great. It's better than the alternative, obviously. But there are some things to clean up, and we got to see if they do it. Let's go to a couple super chats, guys. Let's see what the great people of JAKIB Nation are saying. They're fired up in the chat. We got to go to Jeremy, who hits us with a $50 super chat to start. Thank you, Jeremy. Finally back. It's been a minute, but we're back, boys. Always watch all of y'all content. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate it, brother. Also became a member. We do have a jersey giveaway. They gave up less than 20 points, 17 points. So we'll be giving away another jersey. I still got a Cooper DeJean jersey sitting here. So we'll do a jersey giveaway. We're starting it up with Brian Pumper. Jalen Hurts takes so long to process plays. It's equivalent to the old school Grand Theft loading screens. I need Buddy to upgrade his hardware. Your guys' thoughts on Jalen's processing time in the game?
It could be better. I need Pumper to upgrade his metaphors, because all he talks about is video games. Come on.
John, do you think if they went more up tempo, because whenever they get up tempo,
they did went up tempo and they scored, and then they left it. I don't know.
They're so good.
But they're good up tempo.
Yeah, they're so good at that.
Yeah,
they need to do more.
I don't get it.
Of that.
I've asked Nick that so many times over the years. You know, and part of it is conditioning. You can't just go. Can't be Paul Westhead running up and down. But you know, you have veteran guys, and
what a pull.
So
John.
you have
Paul
to be.
Westhead.
You have to. You have to manage it a little bit, but they do. They're very good with tempo. They are. They have been for a long time.
Here's James Carver. James Carver says, right now you're overlooking the O-line failures, especially Steen, just like everyone overlooked the contribution of JD until they started to use him also at 3-tech and not just shade or 2-eye at most prior to 25. So he's saying we're not giving enough.
He's playing against Chris Jones. I mean, but
I think the point is the offense is stagnant a lot, in large part because that offensive line is not holding up like we're used to them holding up.
Because of what we've been pointing out for 2 weeks is that Landon's health. Dude, did you see him dragging his leg?
Yeah,
he's dragging his leg. I thought Steen had a great block on that Barkley touchdown run.
He did.
That was a great block on that. Now, Chris Jones is going to win the day, dude. He's going to win the day on you.
Yeah, he is. That's fair.
Hey, by the way, too, John,
I thought Tyler's been, I'm sorry, James. I think he's been fine so far.
Hey, get this. You know how many Chris Joneses you're going to play against in a year? One. You're going to play one guy like that.
Here's Carver again. He was not happy with Steen today. He says Steen had a horrible game. $20 super chat, by the way. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Steen had a horrible game. Wait for the all 22.
Yeah, but
he
he's
collapsed
wrong.
the pocket almost every play, which screwed Hurts his timing and forced him to check
pass
down
protection. There was some issues.
Well, there was, but like you said, so
that's definitely his weakness. He got pushed in.
Yeah.
Jalen hit his helmet on Steen's.
Yeah,
hit his elbow on Steen's helmet.
I think that was the ball that popped right up going to AJ Brown. I think that was that play.
Yeah. But overall, I don't. There's a lot of.
He's not killing them. He's not.
By the way, Jalen Hurts is the Super Bowl MVP. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He makes $50 million a year. You don't have to spend your whole life making excuses for the guy. He's part of it as well.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
He's got more endorsements than God. He's very capable of handling constructive criticism. He loves hard coaching. You don't have to fall on the sword every week.
No, you're right. John, I thought that was a fungo bat hit. That pass he threw up there for that DeVonta. You know how you hit a fungo bat?
Oh, that was a fungo bat hit.
That was a fungo bat
you know what?
hit.
You know what, Spags? Close circuit the freaking Spags.
I get that. That's on him. You got to make that play.
50-50 ball to DeVonta or AJ is 70-30 at best for your side.
Yeah, but John, he wins today because there was only one of them. I mean, for the overwhelming part, we're the ones talking about the passing game being a problem.
Lost the game on that play.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
And the Kelsey play.
JD3 says, I'll take a week 2 ugly win in Arrowhead in the heat. Impressed with the defense, but hoping Patulo improves through the season. Z Smith made an impact. It was cool to see. Z Smith did make an impact. He was impactful out there.
Again, I'm going to keep putting an emphasis on it. Look, the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League, Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, North Turner, Aikman. Go down the list, dude. They're all married at the hip with this stuff. It's the quarterback. It's the coordinator. Sometimes you have bad games. It's just what it is. It's personnel matchups sometimes. You're going against really good coaching in Kansas City as well. Tough all of that plays. Again, it's not excuses. That's why each and every single week it's like a chameleon. Zander, chameleon could change its colors every week. The best teams in the NFL are the teams that traditionally can. The problem with the Eagles are we're this, and we're this guy, and we're not going to change. They're the only team I've ever seen that doesn't change week in and week out, and they go out there and win because the other teams don't make those 50-50 balls. Most teams can't stop the run game, but I will say this. That run game has been underwhelming for the first 2 weeks of the season.
And Mekhi Becton's gone. Maybe that has something to do with it. Jay Macklin said, John, he's with you. He said this before the show even kicked off. The tush push will not survive another year in the rule book. You guys agree? I think so. Cooked.
Well, it'll survive this year, but it won't survive past this year. It is cooked.
There's no way. I mean, they can't even.
It's almost to the point where every single one of them is
they can't even officiate it right now.
Yeah. Every single
I know Eagles fans can't take themselves out of the equation, so this is a bad audience. But if you were watching whoever's playing right now and you were just watching the game and didn't have anything invested in it, and you were watching that garbage, they can't officiate it. Everybody's jumping offside. Everybody's swiping at the ball. It is certainly not entertaining. It's only entertaining because your favorite team is successful at it. But the NFL has a bigger purview than you guys do.
Yeah,
TV. TV, John. I get on Rich McKay all the time on my programs, and he's the chairman of the competition committee.
Yeah.
And he's the Pied Piper that hates that thing.
Yeah, he is.
Let me say this to you. That thing ain't surviving. He's the same.
Phil, you stopped putting him on because Philly was giving him a hard time.
He's like the third most important dude in the NFL today, behind Roger Goodell and Pash.
Yeah.
Outside of them dudes, man, Rich hates to play. Okay, and he wants that thing gone. And I'm telling you, they're going to get enough lovers to love that thing not to be in the league because it's a bad look on TV.
But when you can go to, they can't officiate it.
Yeah, it's over.
It's a done deal.
Yeah.
And they already started with that today.
Yeah, it's a way easier excuse than they had this summer trying to get rid of the play. Paul Barbarian checked in. What's up, Paul? Patulo has to get a feel for play calling, but to be fair, he faced two tough defensive coordinators with Eberflus and Spags. Also, Jalen has to let it rip sometimes. He overthinks plays like it's a playoff game. Hurts. I think that's fair. Pretty fair with everything you said there.
I don't know. Brian Eberflus made Brian Daboll look like Sean Desai. Well,
yeah. How many
the
New York Giants had today?
Excuse me. Brian Daboll made Matt Eberflus look like Sean Desai.
Yeah.
So,
dude, Russell Wilson threw for 450 some odd yards and 3 touchdowns.
How many yards? Russell Wilson was 30 of 41 for 450 and 3 touchdowns.
Now, this is a week-to-week league. Every game has a personality. I always say it, but that's no excuse.
37 points and 450 yards passing. I'd hang in there about really him. You know, it's a week-to-week deal. Well, there's your prime example of it. Well, doesn't that tell you one thing, too? So the New York Giants can put up 37 points, and the Eagles can't? You got A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith.
What John just said. Every game's got its own
You got Malik Neighbors and my cousin playing wideout.
Malik Neighbors is good, though.
He is really good.
You see that catch in the back of the end zone today?
Yeah. Well, this is half the battle. The Eagles have figured it out. They just don't do it as much. You know, when it comes down to it, and this is what I said in the Super Bowl, just throw the go route. Just throw it. And
AJ's
I'm talking
going to win that. AJ's going to win that 8 to 10 times. If you go 50-50 jumps, he's winning that.
If they're going to zero blitz, just throw it.
Right. That's what they did in that one high popper.
Yeah. And DeVonta came down with it.
Yeah.
But they don't do it enough. And some of these, like, that the game looks like it's over and Russell Wilson just starts chucking it to Malik Neighbors. And guess what? First one, incomplete. Second one, touchdown. And they did the same thing with Thornton, Kansas City. Yeah. First one, incomplete. Second one, incomplete. Third one, touchdown.
Yep. And the second one should have been complete for a touchdown, too, as well.
The second one, that's one of Mahomes' worst throws in history. He was 20 yards by
like
himself.
The one he missed a couple of years ago when he had the guy in the end zone against the Eagles, too. Remember? He had him
That
back.
is such an interesting part of Vic Fangio's defense. When you saw Adoree like almost cut over to the outside and he trips up on his own guy and just busted coverage. But it's interesting how he has those DBs play.
Hey, Zander, you know what you get to say today about Adoree Jackson? He didn't kill you.
No, he didn't get burned at all. But who was there to beat him? I mean,
I know. Bobby Smith.
Yeah, right. JD3 says, Chris Jones just got added to the Tyler Steen Made Me Cry Club, joining Mason Graham. Steen won in crucial spots tonight. Stout you. I don't know. It's JD3.
No, he did not beat Chris Jones today.
Eagles fans are going to be coming for Chris Jones now. He was chirping
trolling us.
He does have 3 rings, and he's good, I'm sure. He's a high-paid D tackle in the league, too. And
Eagles fans are going to have it out for him.
Like the kid with the Rams, who, by the way, had 2 sacks today.
Did he? Monster.
Yeah, Jared. First he had 2 sacks today.
Yeah, he's a beast. All right, guys, what's the solution moving forward? We got week 3 next week. We got the LA Rams coming up. We got about 20 minutes left here on the post-game show with you guys on up on the stream with me, guys. Appreciate you joining and hit that like button, everybody. Thanks for being here. With the Rams coming up, then you got the Bucks, and then I think in 5 you have Denver, and then you got the Giants, Vikings.
Well, you're already off the bat. You're worried about the Rams. You're already off script.
Right. All right. So worried about the Rams. What's the solution to this Eagles offense that does look stagnant through the first couple of weeks?
No solution. Just go play 60 minutes of ball and see how the first month,
And
figure it out.
The personality of that game might be a little bit different. So you might be forced to take some more chances, or you may be forced to throw the football down the field. And maybe it looks better. Maybe you open things up a little bit. Maybe you're forced to do it. And speaking of the Eagles kind of learning, last year, the most impressive thing about Vic's defense was so few. I talk about it all the time. And now you're seeing the opposite side of it, where you see some of the blown coverages. They had so few blown coverages last year. It was amazing. Considering how complicated it is for younger players, and Quinyon and Cooper was so good. Sean McVay, I talked to Britton Covey about this because he's good friends with, he spent the summer with the Rams, but he's also good friends with Puka Nacua. Puka used to live with his family, and they work out all the time. What Sean McVay, that I have not seen anybody else in football do, he will release Puka Nacua through the B gap, through the middle of the offensive line.
They ran a jet sweep today on a touchdown run.
Yeah. And people lose their mind. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
John,
he had like a 38-yard TD run, bringing him wide, coming back inside, and he didn't take it wide. He cut it back up into the B gap.
Yeah. But he runs routes through the B gap. And you have to be a really, really physical player, because if you're smart,
that's on the safety.
And if the defensive line gets you can just knock him the freak down.
And that's what I would. I put an elbow on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people are so unused to seeing it. I think it takes them by surprise. So that's one of those things I love about football. Nobody else does it. He does it. And he's such a big physical guy. I'm sure he's gotten hit, but he can do it. But this Rams team is a good team. Now, Kansas City, look, they might make the playoffs if they can hold their water, if they can get back into it, if they can win a game or two, stay at 500, get Rice back, get Worthy back. They could be a playoff team. Dallas, probably not. This is the first legitimately good team I think the Eagles will be. So I think it'll be a good test.
Hey, John, can you do us a favor tomorrow when you go over there? DeVonta Smith came down on his back. I wonder how, he comes out of that game, because Jalen addressed it today also at the post that, he came down and he was playing a little hurt in the ball game there. Because you know him, John. He guy's like a Gumby dude. I mean, this guy's never hurt.
Looked like
never
he came right. Yeah, it came right down on his tailbone, probably.
Yeah.
No, tomorrow's all Zoom stuff. We won't be down there till Tuesday. That's when we'll talk to Kevin Patulo.
Is that coordinator day? Is that coordinator day? Okay.
Wednesday is open locker room, so that'll be the next time we get to see the players. And we'll get a better indication, obviously, on who's hurt coming out of the game. Unfortunately, I'm not there, so I don't know what's going on from an injury standpoint. So, but a couple guys look banged up. Jalen looked banged up. Jalen Carter, not Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, he was grabbing on his wrist or something. Yeah.
Dory Jackson looked like he hurt his thumb early in the game. Came back, taped it up.
Dickerson was limping.
Dickerson's always limping. Jordan Davis with those cramps or whatever it was. Hopefully that was just the heat.
Yep.
So a couple things to keep an eye on.
I thought Jordan Davis had a good game today.
Yeah, I think he's playing well. Yeah. I think the weight loss is helping him a lot.
More reps, definitely, and seems to be more productive. Guys, I want to talk to you real quick, last couple minutes here. I want to talk to you about Andrew Makuba. John, and I'm going to go to you first on this. And the one thing I want to ask is he playing as well as people are thinking, or is the splash play making up for everything? And he had 6 tackles today, 2 stops, an interception, and 1 pass defended, and half a sack. It's pretty clear he's a weapon and can be used as a weapon. It's only his second game as a pro. What's your thought on Andrew Makuba so far?
Well, did you see the interception?
Yeah. Was
Was that Andrew Makuba making a play, or was that Johnny on the spot?
Right time. Yeah.
That wasn't a Reid interception. That was a luck interception.
Now,
kind of why
I think he's playing fine. I think he's playing fine. I don't think he's playing poorly. I think there was some good. There was some bad. Getting run over by Patrick Mahomes, you don't want. On the other hand, I mentioned that stop. He stoned Hollywood Brown to keep him from getting a first down. But if you look, he had a half a sack with Zadarius Smith. So, he's been good as a sort of blitzer, which I didn't see coming. But I do think, to your point of it, if you just look at the box score in football, that's a bad way to look at football, because sometimes interceptions are you're making a play, and sometimes interceptions are, somebody tipped the ball or somebody dropped the ball and you're happen to be there. So I think you got to be very careful with that stuff.
Sills, your thoughts on Andrew Makuba so far? 2 games.
To John's point, sometimes the coordinator puts you in a position to make plays, and that's what Vic's scheme sometimes does. I think, like I said, coming out of the Dallas game, coming out of this game, he's a rookie, man. They kind of get passes with me because they're learning the sport and they're learning game tempo and they're learning how to cover. Look at what we saw with Cooper DeJean a year ago. He was playing so good, and then he got taken to the woodshed by a guy like Adam Thielen, who's one of the best route runners. He's not a spectacular player in any sense of the word in NFL history, but he's a pro's pro. These guys are going to go through bumps and bruises on how they do things and how they're going to have and fit into these defenses. So I think he's okay. And I guarantee you, come Tuesday, when Vic is asked a question about him, Vic's going to do what he did last week. He's going to go, he's getting there. He's getting there. I mean, I'll tell you this, I'm encouraged. His trend is going up, but to sit there and say that,
I'm very encouraged. But yeah, Jeff, to Sills' point, Vic said he blew a couple of coverages.
Yeah, he got beat in a couple of coverages.
Yeah. So, but I think it's all positive. Yeah. I think, he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
So I think from and stuff like that, where it will help, it'll give you confidence when you make a big play and you make an interception at the goal line. And that thing could have been a pick six. By the way, how about that Josh Simmons chasing him down?
Oh, man. I tweeted out he deserves some credit, man.
Boy, he kept close.
He got up to 18 miles an hour. That's an offensive tackle.
Hey, John, the last time I saw something like that was when, Eric, what's that guy? The offensive lineman, Larry Allen, on a Monday night game. Remember, he ran down that guy from 50 yards out when he were playing the Saints. They threw a pick, and he ran that dude.
Hey, you know what?
Getting close.
If that were Will Shipley, Eagles fans would be shitting all over him. He got chased down by Josh Simmons.
Got chased down by a 500-pound old lineman. Not good.
That was you got to tip the cap there to Josh Simmons. Man. That was impressive stuff. All right, guys. We talked about a lot of the offense here and the defense, and here's our man Jeff Kerr, John, the statistician as we call him. But I think the Eagles.
Jeff will be on tomorrow, by the way.
And John, I think I think there's a pro and a con to this, because you talked about the Eagles offense and you said they're just too conservative. And I agree with you. And I think this is the reason why. Jeff Kerr tweets, over the last 19 games, the Eagles have 8 giveaways and 39 takeaways. Now, everybody can do the math on that, but they're winning the turnover margin or turnover differential by a wide margin. And I think they're so in love with that. They are not willing to put the ball at risk to get a big play. And they're good if they win the turnover margin. And look, they win the turnover margin today. It was ugly, but they win the game again. And I think they're real. I think that's really what's happening.
It's funny because I get a lot of crap for criticizing Jalen Hurts. And I want everybody to put up their, take off their earphones and listen closely. I'm the one who says they are unfair to Jalen Hurts because they don't trust him enough. It all harkens back to the 2-2 start last year, and they turned it over too much. We can all agree with that. We can all stipulate to that. But I also think Game 4 was in Tampa, where they had no Lane Johnson, no A.J. Brown, no DeVonta Smith, and it was a shit show as predicted. And they overreacted to that. Now, they won the Super Bowl. So from their standpoint, they're like, see, it worked. And they're continuing it. But they're not going to win another Super Bowl by continuing to play the way they played in weeks 1 and 2. So you can point to that, and we'll talk to Jeff about that tomorrow. Obviously, it's an impressive stat. Obviously, they value that stat, as I explained, more than that, and explosive plays more than any other. But there's a give and take to it. And you're decreasing.
Hey, John, I saw more explosive plays yesterday in Temple getting killed by Oklahoma. I'm kidding.
That's true. Did they score? No, that was Villanova. Who did Villanova play? Villanova played somebody, didn't they?
Yeah. Who'd they play? Yeah. Did they play Oklahoma? Was that the team they ended up playing? I don't know. Holy cow. John,
But
would you not agree one thing, though? The offense itself is not very complicated. It hasn't been complicated for years. Yeah. I mean, it's just not a very creative.
But there's nothing wrong with that. You're Jimmy Johnson's buddy. You know, ask Jimmy about his deep.
Run
his
right,
offense.
run left, play defense, let's go home. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. The Eagles are about execution, out-executing, out-talenting people. That's what they're about. That's what they're about.
You hear that,
they've won 16 straight games.
Hurts 2,500 yards this year and 15 TDs. They can win a Super Bowl. Who cares, right?
2,500 fucking yards.
Well, shit. By the way, he would have to pick it up to get to 2,500 yards.
John with an over the top off the top rope one.
Ask Jeff Kerr. Do the math. He's not on pace
off
to
the
throw
top
for
rope. John McMullen on that.
He's not on pace to throw for 2,500 yards.
Woo!
No, he's not.
Man, nope.
2,500 yards, like 140 yards a game, isn't it?
Well, Zander, he's thrown for like 120 yards.
Let's do the math.
He's on pace for 1,800 yards.
Let's do the math.
No,
152.
He's on pace for 1,500 yards.
152. 101.
John, don't do it, John. You're good. John,
times
don't do
16.
Big Phil, I'm gonna have to cross that one off the bold prediction. I'm gonna have to cross that one off the bold prediction list.
Too many emails, John. You're going to get on this one. He's on pace for 1,892 yards, 15 touchdowns.
2,000. He's on pace for about 2,150 yards.
Jesus. Even Arch Manning will have better numbers.
Oh gosh! All right, let's wrap it up here. I'll get your guys' final thoughts. Johnny Mack, coming to you first. Your final thought: Eagles 2-0. They get a W at Arrowhead, and they're 2-0 on the year. An ugly one, but they get the win. John, your final thoughts here on this Week 2 matchup between the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Ugly game, but they got the win. I mean, what do you want? Do you want to subscribe to Jalen Hurts rules? Winning is all that matters. Then it's a positive. If you want to be contextual about it and say you can't sustain this level of offensive play, I think it's more realistic. I think they'll get better. That and the tush push is dead. We just don't know it yet.
Good final takeaways from J Mac. Big Sills, coming to you. I can see you stewing like a pot of tea, waiting for me to come to you. Your final thought on this 2-0 start for the Birds, Sills.
Well, everything John McMullen hates in life, I will be talking about on Monday.
No.
Hey, the over the top, shitty situational play calling, all of that will be on display. But hey, it's only 8 quarters.
Sills, I always say this to people. There's 2 different Silios. There's post-game Sileo, and there's the National Football Show Sileo. They are 2 different beings, basically.
Yes, that's the talk show. This is the football, dude.
Yeah,
that's the
I'm very consistent.
Yes, you are. We
know
what we're
getting. Not me. Come Monday, baby. 2 to 6. Big Sills has got you covered here. Bobo Patulo.
You got the flamethrower. Hey, you got the flamethrower.
But hey, like Angelo, you know what Angelo calls him? Angelo Cataldi. John calls Kevin Patulo Bobo Patulo.
Well, Bobo Patulo better
Bobo
do
Patulo.
He better do something to change
Angelo. My guess is Angelo will have them at 2-15 after this performance. 2-15.
Absolutely. Great stuff,
boys.
man.
Great stuff on the post-game show. Appreciate both of you guys doing it. We'll catch you in the morning, John, on Birds 365 from 8 to 10 and the National.
All right. Thanks, all.
2 to 6. Thank you, guys.
See you guys later.
All right, there's Johnny Mack and Big Sills on the JAKIB Postgame Show. The Birds are 2-0. They win the game today, 20-17. We'll kick it around. I'll bring some people up. I'll get to all of our super chats. I see you guys crying about the super chat. Can I just clue you in on some business real quick? You know, I pay John and Sills big bucks to come on the postgame show. Your $1.99 complaint, unfortunately, is not enough for me to usurp the show. I got 90 minutes to get their takeaways. If I don't get to all the super chats, you'll survive. We'll get to them all right now. All right, that's what Zander time is for, everybody. Josh Herman checking in. What up, Josh? He says, I got more question than answers after today. Week 2, go to Arrowhead. Tough Chiefs team. I don't think so. I don't think I agree. Khaled says, Chiefs can't beat us, bozo. Ha, ha, ha. I agree with that. Brian Pump says, I'm sorry, fellas. This is the 2023 Eagles. I can't, man. What happened to this team? Brian, you've yet to be right about a singular take, so I'm going to put that in the column of you being wrong again, Pump. You know I love you, Pumper. Pump, you know I love you, Pump. But until you're right on something, Pump, I can't side with you, my man. Dirty Air checking in. What's up, Dirty Air? $10 super chat. He says, look, wasn't a great offensive game, but it's a gritty win. Lots to improve on. It will get rolling. Defense is better than it was at this point last year. Well, I agree with that. It's kind of how I started the show. And then John and Sileo absolutely erupted. All right. They absolutely erupted on the offense, on the passing game, and on everything that came with that. So, you know, we went into some of those conversations, and I do think some of them are fair. I mean, look, I always try and be honest with everybody. I really do. I try and be as honest as I can on this show. I'm not super like, oh, this team's in great shape. I don't feel like that. I think we got to improve a little bit. All right. I think we got to improve a little bit. And So Woke I'm Snoring has been crying for 2 hours. Now you can go cry somewhere else, you fucking dork. So, look, we're not sounding the alarm yet, but I'm not going to fall into the trap again of we won the game, so it doesn't matter. We already been through that. We were 10-1 in 23, and all of you said the same exact thing, and me included. We're 10-1. Who cares? We're 10-1. Who cares? It's going to have to be better. Now, to their point, I tried to tell them this. Last year, they both came up with quite a bit of talk about the Eagles' offense can't win this way. They can't get to the Super Bowl this way. They can't make their way all the way. All right. And we did. We did. So I'm not, I'm kind of in the middle on it. Like, I want to be better, but part of me is like, hey, Jalen Hurts is the best winning percentage of any quarterback in football since 22. Like, Pumper calls it a banana in the tailpipe. Is it? We've been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, Pump. We won one of them. We're the winningest team in football in the last 3 years. Like, there's a little bit of both. There's a little bit of merit to both sides of the conversation. I'll say inconclusive through 2 weeks. Not ready to make up my mind yet on that. All right, Dirty, I appreciate it, brother. Brian Pumper says, dog, I picked us to lose, but no chance in hell any feels good about this team right now. This is bad Bally, fellas. We not repeating with Patu ass. Instead of Patulo, he hits me with Patu ass. That is class. Pumper, that's a good take. All right. That's a good take. Jason Gates, good D, shitty O, go Birds. Kind of agree. Brian Pump, it's not just Ed Reed Blankenship no more. That was special Ed Reed Blankenship. That bum left Q out to dry on that deep touchdown. It looked like that to me too, Pump. That was actually good makeup speed by Quinion to almost get there. All right, he almost got there. Here's Prince. What up, Prince? He says, what if Shut up. It's football. It happens. Saquon and Smitty both dropped the ball last season. Mack and Sills cry about everything. Well, they do. They do. I think they would both admit that to you, honestly. I really do. I think they would both admit that, all right? I think they would. Here's Prince again. Shut the F up. 2-0. Live to fight another day. Well, you're right, Prince, but don't you agree, Prince? You know, we do got to be better. I mean, look, Prince. John and Sills are off the show now, all right? You're talking to an Eagle fan. It feels like we should be better. AJ, DeVonta, Saquon, the offensive line, Jalen Hurts. Like, dude, it just feels like it should look better. And again, I'm not crying about it. We won the game. I said that to start the show. I agree. We won the game. That's what matters. But doesn't it feel like things should work a little bit better when you have that type? Like, it's not like we got Tyquan Thornton. You know, if you got Tyquan Thornton and you win, you're like, woo, we won. On to the next one. We got AJ, DeVonta. I think it's okay for us to be like, hey, we should be a little better. I think we should be a little better. You know, I don't think that's crazy. I really don't. And I know some people don't like that, but I don't think that's crazy to say. Prince! Come on, Prince! All right. Come on, Prince. Khaled checking in. What's up, Khaled? If the Eagles had an OC, this team would be 17-0. I don't agree. James Carver says it's the O-line. O-line is killing Hurts' timing. Carver, there was a couple plays, though, man. He had 5-6 seconds to throw the ball. Now, that's where I come in, and I'm like, is that Jalen or is that the receivers not open? I mean, you're telling me you can't find a guy. If Jalen can't find a guy in 3 seconds, all right, maybe you say, hey, processing's got to be better. 5-6 seconds? Nobody's there. Now, to John's points, the NFL, those windows, they're open for a second, boom, and then they're slammed shut. So maybe there's a fine line that we're walking where Jalen's got to get that ball out, and that's what's messing him up, Carver. You might be right about that element to it. Khaled checking in again. What's up, Khaled? Haven't seen this team do a running back screen in 4 years. Well, they did a couple of them today. Fabio, what's up, Fabio? Sills, can you ask Gruden to be OC for the Eagles? That's not going to work. Gruden's too complex, dude. He's like Sean Payton on steroids when it comes to the complexities of offense. I don't think that would work for our offense. Brian Pump, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm saying it. Jalen Hurts is an H-back running the Philly special every play. Proven to not be that, but all right, Pump. Jason Gates, nearly 1,500 yards in a season rushing is now no good. Come on, Sills. Well, Jason, to his point, it worked last year with a bad passing game, with the 29th ranked passing game, because the running game was so dominant. Does it work with 1,500? Even though that's really good, does it work with the passing game not clicking on all cylinders, with that type of output? It's fair to wonder. William Kelly, what's up, man? He says, Dan, you and your guys are the best football show. Thanks. Look at that. Appreciate you, William. Appreciate you, brother. I assume when you say your guys, you're talking about me and John, so I appreciate that, all right? Mickey Bibb. What's up, Mickey? How about that punter, John? Another week, another pin. Yeah, he's been on fire, man. Braden Mann deserves a lot of credit. John Forte, great win. I know I'm going to get burned for this, but I'm worried about the OC. I know it's only 2 games, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Hey, John, get in line, man. You're not the only one. And I don't think it's unfair to think like that, John. I don't think that makes you a bad fan. I don't think that makes you an Eagle hater. I don't think that makes you I'm not like that. There's so many people in our chat. You bring up one concern and they're like, oh, my God, how could you say that? It's like, guys, we're talking about football. It's not all pretty. There's a lot of shit that goes right and goes wrong. We can talk about it all. It doesn't make you a bad fan, all right? I think that's perfectly fine for you to say, John. Now, the pushback could be, hey, you're going too far. We'll see. We'll see. We got a long season in front of us. Big Marsh. Here's Big Marsh, who was crying all day. Chris Jones didn't do shit but cry all night, Sills. How you doing? What's up, Xander? What's up, John? All right, Big Marsh. I think he did a little bit more than nothing, but Lamar says, what up, Lamar? The interior of the O-line isn't creating any holes. As you can tell by the pitches to the left and right. What did you guys think of the first 15 script? Yeah, they were off script pretty quick. Not impressive. I think John's on to something. I think they're too conservative when it comes to the turnovers, man. I do, but I gave you guys the curse stat. All right. The Eagles are 18-1 in their last 19 games. They're 16-0 in games that Jalen Hurts has started and finished in the last 16 games. I don't know if you can do math, but that's 100% win percentage. In those 19 games, the 18-1, and by the way, the one loss was when Jalen Hurts didn't finish, 8 giveaways, 39 takeaways. Like, are they too conservative or are they right? Fair to ask. Fair to ask. I don't have all the answers. I don't profess to have all the answers. I just think that's interesting context. All right. Big Marsh says, no, sir. You said Chris Jones would dominate our team. Don't start your backtracking shit, Sills. Well, Chris Jones, I mean, he wasn't dominant, but he wasn't nowhere, Big Marsh. That's where I don't agree. I mean, you said earlier he didn't do shit. That's not true, Big Marsh. That's not true. Look at James Carver's comments about the offensive line collapse in the pocket. Andre Dreyer, what's up, Andre? Last season, offense wasn't the Super Bowl until the Super Bowl. It's a good point, man. It's a week-to-week league. We don't need them to be clicking perfectly now. We need it later in the year. All right? It's a good point by you, Andre. Big Marsh says, what's going to be next week, Sills? Staff are going to cook us, right? You need to realize all we do is win. All right, Big Marsh. I see why you wanted me to read your super chats. You are coming for Big Sills' neck. You're going to have to do that tomorrow on the National Football Show because Big Sills tomorrow will pull no punches. He will absolutely, my guess, and I don't know what he's going to do. My guess is he will absolutely annihilate the Eagles offense. Okay? That's my guess for Big Sills tomorrow. Big Marsh again. Last one, I must say, Reid is terrible for the second week. He's going to lose out betting on himself. Y'all have a great night. He wasn't great. I agree with you on that. All right? Josh Prout. The broadcast showed many times no one open. Well, Josh, we got to see the all 22. The broadcast never shows the whole look at it. I mean, Josh, if they're showing it 3 seconds later, yeah, the window closed. You know, that's kind of my point about the 5-second thing earlier. It's like there's a fine line. Is Jalen not threading the needle on that fine line? It might be fair to ask that question. All right. Here's Brian Pump. Jalen Hurts takes so long to process plays. Oh, no, we already got that one. That was a shitty analogy. VJ says, every level played like trash except D-line and Makuba. Becton leaving left a hole. We have no identity, and the cornerbacks are regressing. Patulo sucks donkey balls. All right, VJ, that's a tough one to read, my man. I appreciate you, though. I don't know if I agree, VJ. You went a little hard there, all right? He said, Davon says, what's up, Davon? Kevin Patulo looking real coolo. Yeah, I guess he's not great. Mike Pingator. Mike, I never seen you in here. Are you new to the channel, Mike? Come on in. The water is fine. He says Makuba MVP. Whoa, pump the brakes. Jeremy, what's up, Jeremy? Thanks for the $50 super chat, brother. Appreciate you. Makuba played great. Loving this rookie alongside Campbell, too. Yeah, both first and second round rookies are looking good right now. All right, Makuba, one guy came in here earlier. Is that Stiff still in here? What was that dude's name? I don't even remember his name. Must have been a nobody. He was in here. Zander needs to eat crow and Makuba. I'm like, first off, you obviously didn't listen to me. I said Makuba's going to be good in coverage, but can he hold up from a size perspective? And I don't know. Maybe I got to clean my eyes a little better. I think I saw Andrew Makuba get trucked by Patrick Mahomes for a first down. Hey, did you guys see that too, or was that just me? Did you guys see that too, or was that just me? Where is that Stiff who was in here crying? Janitors eat crow, Makuba. Makuba looked good in coverage, as we expected, and he looks a little small. All right, he got trucked by Mahomes today. He got trucked by Mahomes. Wrap up. Wrap up. He did hit. Ronald, the when he does hit good, he does hit. But that was ugly. All right, you can't get trucked by Patrick Mahomes. All right, there's nothing. You can't allow that. Eric Long says, J-Mac, what's in your pantry? Coops Crunch or Micah Charms? I'm a Charms guy myself. Micah Charms is in J-Mac's pantry. Coops Crunch is in Sileo's pantry. I got neither of the above. All right, we got the Paul. Brian Pumper says, J-Mac, we get any... Oh, Pumper. Oh, what am I going to do with this guy? He says... J-Mac, we get any updates on McKay? This pedestrian passing attack has me like the Wolverine meme with a picture of my precious Tanner. I don't know, man. He was out there. He was wearing uniform. Here's Akbar Devon. Akbeezy for sheezy. Look at Jimmy, Vincent Vega, and the Wolf. All y'all missing is Jules. Let's redo the Bonnie situation, fellas. Akbar, I told you, you make that happen and you cut the check. I'll make it happen, all right? Big Marsh, a lot of people hate the Cowboys, but they still on TV. That's true, dude. That was an interesting game there. I did not expect that game to be the game of the week. Mauricio, thank you, brother, for the super chat. No comment there, but appreciate you. Davon again. No excuses. Patulo was here during Shane and Kellen. Yeah, and Shane, I will point this out. Shane's got Daniel fucking Jones looking like a beast. They beat the Broncos today. Daniel Jones looks good. Remember when the Giants acted like he was the worst quarterback in the world? Well, Russell Wilson had a good day. How about that? 450 yards and 3 tutties. He heard all the noise. Brian Fleming, what up, B. Flem? The best part is I know Goodell is sitting there in the suite with his hideous hag watching the push repeatedly. Yeah, he is. That's a rude comment, though, Fleming. You always have them. D. Bear says, do you think they're not calling go routes because of turnover? D. Bear, I think you're right. Also, I checked the stats from second game last year. Very similar. Go Birds. All right. All right. Big Marsh says, I see you not reading my super, Zander, but I must let you know Sills will answer for his BS he put out. Peace out, man. Big Marsh, I would never willingly avoid your super chats. All right. I already told you when the show ended, I'm paying these boys big bucks. I got to get the 90 minutes of content out of them I need. All right. Zander, I'm going to cry because Chris Jones does it, and Sills says that's Hall of Fame material. Yeah, I will say that's not a great look, him chirping at Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts hit him back with the right comment, but it is what it is. Big Marsh again. I'll send 100 next time then. I'm on Sills. He gives us hell. All right, Big Marsh. 100 would be appreciated, but not necessary. Thank you, brother. Almighty Lambo says, Blankenship just abandoning his zone and giving up that touchdown at the end had me heated. Lucky we got the onside. Yeah, you're right. Not great. Blankenship didn't have his best game. Clary Void checks in. What's up, Clary Void? Member for 13 months. Thank you, brother. Am I the only fan that's happy we're 2-0? Offense looks like our offense. Defense looked overall good. Light years ahead of what I expected. No preseason, no identity offensively, but no turnovers. Eagles will be top in the NFL. I think you're reaching a little bit, Clary Void. That wasn't a pretty game, my friend. That wasn't a pretty game. I mean, look, you won, and you're right. We're 2-0. Defense, I said this on the show, defense looks a little bit better than we expected at this point, but they got some stuff to clean up, man. That's it's fine to say that. That doesn't make you a bad fan. Jason A-Team says, so proud to be a JAKIB legend. Saying what up to all my peeps. JAKIB is the best. Jason A-Team, I love you, brother. 2-0 so far. Offense has a lot to clean up. Defense looks better than we think, but still has work. Rams are next. Elite. Yes, you're right, A-Team. Rams next, brother. Rico Mart. What up, Rico? Would it get fixed faster if we lost? No. Davon. Dean return may allow Campbell to roam like Micah. Davon, not a bad thought, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to use him like that, dude. I'm pretty cautiously optimistic on that. I don't know if they're going to use him in that role. I think he's good enough to be in that role, but that doesn't mean they're going to use him in that role. So we'll see what ends up happening with it. All right, we'll see what ends up happening. Dirty Air with another super chat. Thank you, Dirty Air. Appreciate you, dog. He says, why does Makuba look like a dude that's a 20-year veteran of the Philly police force? Dirty Air, it's funny you say that because I could completely see what you're talking about. He does have that old grizzly dude look. He's got the receding hairline and everything. All right? He's got the receding hairline and everything. He just needs a nice mustache or something. He needs a nice, thick mustache. That'd be perfect. All right. Here's Underdog. Our pass offense is ranked 11 spots behind the Saints and Spencer Rattler. Yeah, that ain't ideal, Underdog. Underdog, I know. Underdog, I love you, brother. I know what you think the problem is. You don't have to tell me twice. I know what you're thinking, Underdog. Underdog is looking for Scanner McKee, as he calls him. Scanner McKee, scanning the field, getting that ball out. Look, the offense is going to be what it's going to be. Like Underdog, he says he stinks, Xander. Underdog, let me ask you, though, dude. From one Eagle fan to another Eagle fan. He's 16-0 in 16 straight games, dude. Like, how do you quantify? How do you gauge it? How do you properly assess when we say he ain't good enough in the passing game, and then we see on the other hand, we say, He's won 16 straight NFL games. You know, underdog, you've watched enough NFL football to know, man, that's no small task. 16 straight ball games. W's are a team stat. Well, the team's winning, man. That's what we care about, right? That's what we care about. I mean, I'm a fucking Eagle fan. I'm not a quarterback fan. You know, I'm an Eagle fan. I want the team to win. I want the team to be in position to compete for Super Bowls. I don't know. It's tough to gauge, man. I hear you. I know it's more to it than just Jalen, but you know, he doesn't turn the ball over and we keep winning games. It's tough for me to say that he ain't doing enough. You know, that's where I just can't agree with you. But I appreciate your perspective, and it will obviously always be welcome here. All right. Keith checks in. As long as Hurts doesn't turn the ball over, he's good with me. Keith, I legitimately think, Keith, that's where they're at. Like, they're not even taking the shots downfield anymore, Keith. Again, 19 games, Keith, 18-1. 39 takeaways and only 8 giveaways. Like, that tells you all you got to know. A plus 31 turnover differential in the last 19 games, and they're 18-1. You know? Correlation's not causation, but I'll tell you what, they're correlated. They're correlated. There's no doubt. AJ should have at least 200. AJ, you know, AJ had what today? It's 27 yards. So he's got 35 yards in 2 weeks. Ugh. Look, I know we're winning, but I do hate that, guys. I do. I'm sorry. I just do. I hate that. That sucks. 5 receptions for 27 yards? Like, A.J. Brown? That feels insane to me. Like, this is where I started the show. It's like, you know, we talked about this in the open. And I'm like, I'm not going to go as far as Sills or John or even underdog. And you know I love you, brother. But like, I think every Eagle fan who's an honest fan, not just a homer, not just somebody that, you know, like somebody that likes football, somebody that really cares about football, watches a lot of football, you know, likes the game, enjoys the game. We got A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, Dallas Scott. I know he wasn't out there today. Saquon Barkley, the offensive line that we have. Like, I don't think it's crazy for a fan to be like, hey, man, we should have more. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's unfair. I don't think that makes people a bad fan. I don't think that, like, you know, I don't think it's crazy to say, hey, it should look a little better. You know, it should look a little better. We have all the weapons that we need for this thing to look better. You know? So it's tough to gauge. It's tough to gauge. All right? It's very tough to gauge. But we'll see what happens. All right? All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll do the post-game show. Let me make sure. Uh-oh. Is my mouse not working here? Give me a sec, everybody. Don't tell me this thing died on me again. Come on, man. I won't be able to hit a break. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Let me plug the mouse in. I can't click a new comment. That means I got follow the water on the screen. This damn Apple mouse thing doesn't charge. Anton, I am still... Anton, that performance that you had on the screen, my friend, that wasn't good, Anton. That wasn't good. All right. Let this thing charge up a little bit. All right. Shady says, it's not about looking better. It's about it could be better. Yeah, but, well. Anton says, I'm ready to come back and host. Anton, I hate to say it, brother, but you're fired. You're fired. I dropped off the screen for about 2 minutes, and you were like a deer in the headlights, dog. You were a deer in the headlights. All right. Redemption story. All right. I respect that. I can appreciate that. All right. The mouse is connected. Quick commercial break. I'll take a 2-minute timeout. We'll be right back here on the JAKIB Postgame Show.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show. Your Philadelphia Eagles are 2-0 right now. They win the game today, 20-17 over the Kansas City Chiefs. An ugly game. There's no doubt about that. An ugly football game from top to bottom. But the good news is your defense only gives up 17 points in that game. Andrew McCuba gets his first career interception. Got ran down by Josh Simmons. But how about that next-gen stat? John said Josh Simmons was running 18 miles an hour. That's an offensive tackle. That guy deserves some credit, all right? I know he's a Chief player, but you got to tip your hat. A tip of the cap for Josh Simmons, who runs 18 miles an hour and saves the touchdown for Andrew McCuba. I think McCuba spoke after the game, and he was like, some offensive lineman ran me down. Yeah, that must have been embarrassing to say, but hey, you got to tip your cap to Josh Simmons, who was cooking. Who is absolutely cooking. All right, I got a couple super chats to get through. I got 1% on the mouse. So let me make sure I plug this thing in. Davon, what's up, Davon? Appreciate you, brother. He says, 2024 poor passing is a myth by the averages. If Hurts plays all 17 like Allen, he's only 180 less in the air, but would have been 200 more on the ground. Context. If he played only 180 less in the air. What are you saying, Davon? How many yards did I thought Allen had like 4,000 yards last year, didn't he? Hurts only had 2,100 yards. I don't know what you're saying. Clarify it. You don't have to just send a super chat. Just clarify it. I'll pull it back up. All right, I'll pull it back up. Appreciate you, brother. Almighty Lambo says, this overly conservative play is eventually going to bite us. Well, I think they're locked in on that turnover differential. I really do. And I think that's why they're happy to be conservative here. And, that's the way it's going to be. So I don't know if it's something to expect that it's going to change, to be honest with you. I don't necessarily disagree with your premise that I think eventually you're going to have to be a little bit more than what you are. But, it does feel a little bit like that's going to bite you at some point. It didn't last year, though, man. It didn't last year. All right. So we'll see. Got to get the magic touchpad. Emirates, I got to get an Apple. Although, Emirates, I was excited to order the new phone, and then they release it in orange and blue. What? Brutal, Emirates. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? All right, let me send the link, all right? We got about 45 minutes of post-game show tonight. All right, so let me make a public service announcement to all of the great people who are going to join me. All right? I don't need you to dissect and give me every thought about football you've ever had in your life. Okay, and I say that with love. I love each and every one of you. You know that. But this is tough brotherly love, all right? I don't need your dissection of the entire Eagles career and your lifetime as a fan, all right? Your lifetime as a fan. Link is coming now, all right? JAKIB members get that priority, but we will talk to a couple of the great people from JAKIB Nation here on the show. Davon, appreciate your super chats. Appreciate everybody's super chats tonight. All right. The Birds are 2-0. I'll read some of the box score on you guys as well. Jalen Hurts was 15 of 22 today, 101 yards, 2 sacks for 7 yards. Not a great performance. 15 of 22, 101, 7 yards of sacks, 94 net yards of offense in the passing game. Not ideal there. I think that's fair to say. Rushing yards, Saquon had 22 carries for 88 yards and a touchdown with a long of 13. That's what sticks out to me. You're used to seeing Saquon chunk plays, and a long of 13 is just not that much. A.J. Dillon had 3 carries for 19 yards and Hurts. How about this? Maybe the craziest stat line of the day, guys. 9 carries for 16 yards for Jalen Hurts. I don't know if you've ever seen that. And he had a long of 11, which means he had 8 carries for 5 yards. 8 carries for 5 yards. That must have been a lot of tush pushes or what. But not a great offensive output from that perspective. There's no doubt. All right. DeVonta Smith led your receiving, 4 catches for 53 yards. A.J. Brown, 5 catches for 27 yards. Just a pitiful output from 2 guys who I think are 2 top 10 receivers in football. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. Grant Calcaterra, 1 catch for 6 yards. Saquon Barkley, 2 catches for 6 yards. Kylan Granson, a catch for 5 yards. And Jahan Dotson, 1 catch for 4 yards. John Mechie, 1 catch for 0 yards. All right, so nothing stuck out from the offensive performance today. All right, let's go to the great people of JAKIB Nation. We're coming to Akbar to star first. Akbeezy for Sheezy joining me, looking fresh with that bold cut, my man. You're looking good, Akbar. How you feeling? The Eagles are 2-0, my friend.
I feel good, man. How you feel? What's going on with you?
I feel good, man. What do you think of the conversation, man? Are you concerned or are you happy to be 2-0? Where are you as an Eagle fan right now?
Where I'm at is hearing from what I heard. I hear a lot of pessimism. I hear a lot of pessimism. This second game is a glorified preseason game. This is the second one. The Eagles don't do much in the offseason. They don't practice a whole bunch like that. And we still won. Now I hear a lot of talk about Patulo, right? Where I'm sitting, Patulo right now is 2-0, right? Like, he didn't do what he did last year. Somebody else is doing that. Just like Kellen Moore is not doing what he did last year. He's doing something different, and he's 0-2. And so is Ben Simmons. So, let's pump the brakes on our offense. And then also you got to look at the Tyler Steen thing, the thing with Mekhi Becton. But Mekhi Becton was a major piece in that 2,500-yard run that Saquon Barkley had last year. Let's not forget that. Tyler Steen, I just fill me out. Tyler Steen is like a side bitch, right? He like a side bitch that you made your main bitch, right? Now, she not as pretty and she doesn't get fellatio as good, but she's loyal. She's trustworthy. She's dependable. And she's not so much cost effective, right? So
Akbar, this is a family show. Come on, man.
Man, y'all be cussing it up a little bit. Like, I just,
I don't know if we're talking about that, though. Come on, my man.
I thought I kept it real clean. Like, I didn't say what I really wanted to say. But anyway.
All right. We get the point. You've illustrated it well. Let's keep rolling.
Yeah. So, and don't forget that it's 2 sides of the ball, right? We talking. I'm not knocking people for saying, I wish the offense would look better. We do got the best wide receiver tandem in the league, or second. You know what I mean? Jamar Chase looks special today, right? We not seeing AJ Brown look like that this year. We haven't seen Jamar Chase. Not Jamar Chase, Jefferson look like that. JJ McCarthy is trash. That's a little sidebar. He is trash. He is terrible. I don't know why you would pick this dude in the draft. That's out when you got a Justin Jefferson. Anyway, Where was I?
You rambling.
I'm rambling.
Yeah, you feel good about it. Look, the Eagles are 2-0 and they beat the Chiefs. I think what you said at the open was the lead. You know, it's preseason. It's glorified preseason right now. But isn't it fair to say, hey, we got A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith. I mean, we got all these guys. It can't look a little better than it's looked. Do you think that's fair to say? I mean, remember, Akbar, I'll remind you to where you were 1 year ago. I think it was legitimately 1 year ago, maybe after week 2 or week 3. Jalen Hurts is bum juice. That's what you said on this program because of an output that looked like today. So you are nowhere in that ballpark. You have no thoughts that Jalen's got to be better, that the passing game's got to be better?
I'm not saying that I don't. I wish it would look stellar, like how Detroit's offense looked stellar last year. But, I mean, Jalen Hurts, man, he didn't run at all today. Last week, he ran a ton. I don't remember him breaking the pocket at all this week.
Well, I think Spags had a plan for it. He saw
it.
He
did,
yeah.
But he didn't do it. We seen dunks from the little dumps. We seen screen passes. We seen him line up under center. So in my opinion, this is a new offense. And if this is the second game, how incredible do you expect for it to be with a new offensive coordinator?
Yeah, I mean, he's been here for 4 years. The offense looks like the offense looks in Philly. I just don't think they're running the ball as effectively as they did last year. And now you're starting to see it seep out. I mean, look, I feel good. I don't feel as good as we should feel. That's how I feel about it. But what's your thoughts on the defense right now? Only 17 points given up today. And they were the ones who had more questions coming in this year than the offense did. What do you think of the defense right now?
I think the defense right now is still coming along. I'm not exactly sure of, the new guys on. I'm not ready to give my full criticism on the new guys that came to the team just yet. Adoree Jackson looked better this week than he did last week. I seen Vic put him into a man coverage scheme. One play.
Well, is that because of him, Akbar, or is that because he's going against Tyquan Thornton and last week he was going against CeeDee Lamb?
Well, CeeDee Lamb didn't look great last week. Listen,
hey man,
at the end of the day, Dallas scored 20 points last week. You gave up a jersey for that. You're gonna be giving up another jersey because the defense only gave up 17 points this week. This is a trend that they were doing the whole last year. So the pieces is different. Makuba was great today. Great. He had an INT. He had half a sack. He had a nice hit on the play. Now he did get bum rush, ran over by Mahomes. You know what I'm saying?
That was ugly.
I tweeted on that. I clowned him on that on Twitter, but he did get his get back. Now, regardless of what Mack's saying, oh well, it wasn't like it was on him. It was more on the bull missing the ball, tipped off his finger, and but Sills hit it on the head. You gotta be in the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? You have to be aware. Awareness is a part of the game, is it not?
No, it is.
All right, so he was aware, and he almost ran it back if he didn't get tackled. So I thought he had a great
O-lineman, but that O-lineman, I think that was more impressive on the O-lineman than it was a knock on Cuba, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome to see that. What else happened? Nolan Smith had a good game.
I think Zadarius Smith was a much bigger impact than Nolan was today. But all right, brother, good stuff, man. Birds are 2-0 though, so we'll see. They got a big test next week. I think it's a 1:00 game next week at home versus the Rams. So we'll see how they manage it. Akbar, appreciate you joining in, brother. I'll catch you next week. All right, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me on. You have a good one.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you, brother. There's Akbar. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I got to grab a drink. I'll be right back. All right, I got it. I put it right outside my door. I forgot to grab it. All right. Good stuff, Akbar. Appreciate you joining in. Let's keep rolling through here on the great people of JAKIB Nation. All right, good to see everybody in here. Let's go to Joe Whipp coming up next here on the JAKIB Postgame Show. Joe Whipp, how you doing, my man? Good to see you.
I'm doing good, Zander. How you doing?
All right, be the voice of reason. Where are we, Joe? What are you thinking? 2-0 right now in an ugly game early in September. What do you think?
I'll be. I won't ramble on. So I like what I see from the defense. I think the defense is going to be pretty good by the end of the season. I thought a lot of guys played pretty well today, especially.
I think considering that they had way more change or way more turnover, in the offseason, it's a good start for the defense. I agree.
So the offense, I think a lot of people are missing a couple of factors about the offense. In the Super Bowl, they couldn't run the ball at all against the Chiefs. And after the Super Bowl, Dickerson had surgery. Cam Jurgens had surgery. And during the game, Becton was in and out of the game because of a knee. I don't like what I see of Dickerson or Cam Jurgens this year. I think they're playing. I think they're not recovered from the surgery. They're not what they were before last year. So I think that's why they're having trouble running the ball. It doesn't help that Patulo keeps running right instead of running left. And I have to wonder if he's not running left because of Dickerson. So, I mean, Dickerson he didn't play well at all today.
No, he doesn't look the same. I mean, he's clearly hurt.
He doesn't have the power that he had before. And he looks kind of off balance. Like that play with Chris Jones. Chris Jones is
like I know they like that he's tough and all, and I appreciate that, but wouldn't it just do the team better to let him get fully healthy and let him be himself again? I mean, if you have half a Landon Dickerson every week, that's not as good as waiting until week 8 and getting 100% of a Landon. At least in my opinion, it's not.
But I don't know if it's his knee or it's his back. We'll never know that, until he goes on the IR or something like that.
You are right though. They're getting a lot of pressure over there.
Yeah,
it's messing up Cam Jurgens too.
Yeah. So, well, it hasn't happened to me personally, but as a trial lawyer, I dealt with a lot of back surgeries. So
yeah, I believe it.
I know what's involved with all that. So I'm a little concerned about that. As far as Patulo is concerned, their route combinations, they don't spread the field much. The players are all kind of like in the same zone. And so it's easy for the defense to defend it. So I'll have to look at the film again this week, but that was a problem last week. I thought the route concepts weren't very good.
Yeah, I got to see the all 22 this week because, like I said, that 5-second drop back where Hurts is just sitting there and then dumps it off. Like, where's the disconnect? Did Jalen just not pull the trigger, or am I supposed to believe that A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith can't get open? That feels like that feels a little crazy to me, but something's got to fix on that.
Well, the thing I noticed today. So, A.J. Brown missed most of training camp. DeVonta Smith missed most of training camp.
Yep.
And did the offense look slow? It wasn't crisp. They were not getting out of their breaks quickly. It looked like they were playing in slow motion. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. I don't know if Brown's hamstring, he doesn't have the acceleration he had before. Same thing with DeVonta Smith. I think there's more going on there than meets the eye. And I think that explains what we're seeing with the offense. But Lord knows we'll never hear about that. And if we do, Bob Lang will shut us down.
Yeah, he will.
So we'll never hear about that. So that's my concern, is there's more going on than what meets the eye. And by the way, J.J. McCarthy he's going to last about 4 weeks because he looks like a child out there.
He's on the game tonight. I haven't seen him.
I'm watching. I have it on here, and he looks like Britton Covey. He looks like a crash test dummy behind the line. He throws a nice ball, but he looks like a kid compared to these guys.
Yeah, well, we'll see how he pans out. He's got a big roster there in Minnesota, so we'll see if he can do it. Joe Whipp, thanks for joining in, brother. Appreciate it, my man.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow morning, Zander.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, Joe. There's Joe Whipp joining us here on the JAKIB Postgame Show. Good stuff there from Joe Whipp. Let's keep rolling on. We got Anton coming up next. Anton, coming to you, my friend. Here he is. Anton checking in right now on the Postgame Show. Anton, we're 2-0. I saw you in all caps in the chat. What do you got to say, Anton? What do you think of the team right now?
First of all, before we get into any of that, guys, I can't believe nobody's mentioned this, but congratulations to my friend Zander Krause on the upcoming nuptials. Bro, big up, bro.
Thank you,
Honestly,
man. I appreciate that.
congratulations.
It's very cool of you to say, and I appreciate it, man. I thank you.
Also, everybody, making sure you're hitting the like and the subscribe. Right, I am having a redemption arc on last week when I didn't realize I was
It was a
hosting the
tough
show,
spot
and so
for
now
you.
I gotta.
I admit it was a tough spot, but you will admit to me you could have handled it a little better. No.
Oh yeah, I mean, as somebody who has his own channel, who has been on like over 100 streams over the last year, yeah, that was pretty shit.
No,
Like
that's
in
all right.
terms
Don't
of the
worry about it.
standards, but
All right, what do you
I
think?
didn't know that you were throwing the ball to me. So
No, yeah, I didn't either. But 2-0. Where are you on this team? What do you think? Offense, defense. Start with the offense. Where are you on the offense right now?
all right, good thing you started off with that one. So this is my morning, right? I just got off watching the Eagles beat the Chiefs again for the third time in a row. Patrick Mahomes against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has now beaten him 3 times and the last 3, and it should have been 4, right? Like at Arrowhead twice now. Like I don't get the discussion about like Kansas City, like all of a sudden they're not a good football team. This is the 3-time defending champion, not defending now, but 3-time Super Bowl champions. Like the disrespect for them is insane. Sorry to say to your boys, but I'm just saying, like, that has to be said. Anyway,
well,
here.
I mean, but Anton, look, I appreciate your perspective, and part of me agrees with you, right? I mean, look, the team is 16-0 in the last 16 games. It's early in the year. You beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. I agree with that, but don't you feel like, as a football fan, like we have AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith, and this is our output? Like, I don't disagree with you of like, hey, it's working. Let's not jump off the horse here, but don't you feel like it could look a little better when we have this much talent on the offense?
Oh, well, yeah, look, of course. I'll have to say something else, but I'll put that aside just for a sec. Absolutely. Like, the offensive weapons that we have are probably second to none in the NFL. Like, we've got the best running back in the NFL who also failed to go over 100. Like, but he was like squeaking out those 88 throughout the whole game. Yeah, like the AJ Brown usage now through 2 weeks is a bit odd. I'm not going to lie. Like, yeah, what we have on paper should be doing a lot more. But I also got to credit the Chiefs defense. Like, Steve Spagnuolo today brought the house almost on every down.
I think it was like 15 to 25 dropbacks, something like that. I saw the stat. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, so like I think everything always has to have context brought into it. But yeah, by the way, regardless of how it looks, at the end of the day, once Makuba had the pick, Jalen Hurts capitalized. Like that throw to DeVonta Smith that set us up for 1st and goal. Like that's what my points kept being. Maybe I didn't drive it home well enough last year, but my points kept being that, like, even in the games when we struggled, we still made the play that won the game in the most important parts of the game, you know, like in crunch time.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, when push comes to shove and you need your team to make a play, they seem to be there to make the play. I agree with that.
So the issue that I had in terms of the analysis on this show, specifically on this offense, it's not necessarily the fact that the offense is struggling. It's the wording. So I let you come on. We've just beaten the Chiefs again, right? And Dan Sileo's first words today were, the Eagles offense again, inept. Can I define the word inept? The word inept, all right, and according to the dictionary, is having or showing no skill. Are we going to call the Super Bowl champions offense,
Super Bowl champions,
quarterbacked by the Super Bowl MVP, inept? No, but inept, right? Like maybe say like, you know, I'm underwhelmed by the offense, which is basically what you're saying. Not they are inept. I know Dan. I know Dan. I know what he does. Like he's getting exactly out of me that what he wants.
Words are an art, my friend. There is an
yeah. He's getting exactly out of me what he wants. Like it's no coincidence he used the word inept because it's triggering. So like he's literally the master of the art. But I wouldn't use the word inept. Like
no, it's not inept, but I mean, 5 catches for 27 yards to AJ Brown, and
the stats look bad, but at the same time,
in 2 games is not particularly great. But I agree, it's not inept. I mean, the
stats look bad on an individual. We had this conversation a week ago. Like like I still don't mind what the stats look like on an individual
Yeah, I don't
level.
either. This is where I'm with you. I don't really care about the stats, but I mean,
I actually
it's fair to
don't look at the stat
have
sheet
a
until
desire to
after
build.
the game. I don't look at the stat sheet until after the game. In all honesty, for me, it's just like, are we in a position to win the ball game? Like at the end of the game, I'm like, get the ball, get the clock under 2 minutes, get a first down, go home, and that's all that mattered to me at the end of the game. Like, but the underlying thing here is like, I don't want to toot my own horn again on this show.
Oh, you
but
do
I
it every
did
week.
try.
I'm used
But
to
I
it.
did try to say, like when we had weeks like this last year, like guys, this isn't like every single game isn't the same. So if you're going to say you play like this next week against the Rams, but we won't. Like the likelihood of us playing the exact same way in a different scenario against a different team is very, very low.
Well, the circumstance will be similar, but the way the offense is built does look similar. It looks the same throughout almost Jalen's entire career, which again has been very successful. So you got to add that context into it. But where I don't agree with you is every game has its own personality, but the way the offense plays has been largely, cut from the same cake, if that makes sense.
Look, what I want to see, and I'll be a bit more objective here. What I want to see here is, the team go back in the week at practice and literally fix this, because we're going to play a defense next week that, let's be honest, we've had their number over the last years. It's a good opportunity for us to get things clicking again, especially in the run game. Like today's run game, even last week against Dallas, it wasn't necessarily what we're accustomed to in terms of in the run. Like you guys hit the nail on the head. Like Saquon's not going to get anywhere near 2,000, especially the way he's playing at the moment. So we definitely need to correct a few things. That's the beauty of winning and winning ugly, is that you get the win and then you get to go back and you get to correct that stuff.
Yeah,
so,
and that's where you're right. It's early in the year. Like it's obvious they weren't supposed to have it all figured out at this point. So no, I agree with you. All right, brother. Good stuff, man.
Well, can I say one thing about the defense before I go?
Yep, go ahead.
Honestly, that fourth quarter, when who was it? What's the name of the Tyquan Thornton?
Yeah, Tyquan.
Why is nobody covering that guy? Like literally, he's running uncovered in acres and acres of space. Nobody near him. Like to say that Quinion Mitchell was burned would be inaccurate, because he's literally starting.
Are you talking about on the blown Mahomes throw?
All of them, all the above.
Yeah,
all of the above.
Well, it's kind of weird. You're right, but that's kind of one of the deficiencies of Vic's scheme, where if they don't communicate, this is why people talk about why Reid's important. If they don't communicate on the back end perfectly, that's what happens. Because you saw the one that Mahomes blew, Adoree Jackson almost cuts into like this sideline and runs into the safety, and he trips up, and that's why he was.
I tell you, I'm a bit done with Adoree Jackson. Honestly, I think he's got maybe a week or two left to pick it up, or he might end up getting cut. I'm not even going to lie.
Well, I don't know about cut, but benched for sure. But we'll see. Yeah. I agree with that. I think that's a fair take on the defense. You can't let that guy run. He's their only guy going deep.
But overall, we played Patrick Mahomes today. Let's keep it into context again. We played the greatest quarterback of our generation, and we kept him to 10 points with 3 minutes to go on the clock. And like he struggled again in the pass game. Now he just killed us on the ground, but in the pass game, like again, another game against Patrick Mahomes, and we make him look second rate. But like Vic Fangio definitely needs to get credit for that, because not many teams do that. In fact,
I agree.
Most teams do quite the opposite.
Yeah.
So,
all right, brother. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you joining in, Anton. I'll talk to you next time you're on. All right, man.
All right. See ya.
There's Anton. Appreciate you, Anton. Good stuff as always. Good talking to Akbar and Joe Whip and Anton so far. Right now, let's keep rolling on. Keep going. Let's go to O-Line Guru. Ready to join me right now here on the JAKIB Postgame Show. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Good to see you again, man. How was your good summer? Good to have you back on the show. Birds 2-0, my friend. Where are you right now on this team?
We're fine. First of all, we're fine. We're 2-0. The good thing is we still have a winner spirit. That's the most important thing.
Winning is a habit, my friend. Winning is a habit.
That's the most important thing. As long as we got that, we can always build on top of that. Our attitude seems like it's still intact for the most part. I can comment on some body language. I ain't gonna lie. I'm starting to see.
I know where you're going, but you say it. I won't.
I ain't gonna say it either because I don't want to put it out there.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
But we still seem like it's together. We still have a winner spirit. I like Barkley addition. Barkley was a great addition for us, even culturally for the team. It's been really good. Andrew McCuba really stepped up big for us. Had a flash of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in them today with the big hit and then the big turnover. That was really big.
I agree. I kind of saw that flash as well. CJ, a little CJ-esque,
a
always
little
around
CJ.
the ball.
When he got ran over, I was disappointed because I'm like,
I
that would have
wasn't
never
happy
happened to
about
Chauncey.
that.
I would say that would have never happened to. The first thing I thought was that would have never happened to Chauncey right there.
He's a rook, though. Got to give him a little
rook.
time, right?
He's a rook, and I'm gonna be honest. I think people get a little nervous around Patrick Mahomes when it's time to tackle. I really do. I think when it's time to tackle him,
built in, yeah. I mean, you heard. I don't know if you heard Vic's press conference this week, but he talked about specifically guarding Patrick Mahomes when near the sideline and all. Wow,
I didn't hear him say that. Yeah, but I didn't know from watching. Like, you can tell, like. It really is something. Just I think people get a little nervous when they're about to tackle him, and I get it, man. They throw a lot of flags for him.
Yeah. I actually thought they were kind of light on like that one play that
they've been lighter, haven't they?
Yeah. I thought they could have thrown a flag on Carter on that one play.
I think the grace he's been getting has been going away a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's been going away. Shout out to Zadarius Smith. What an addition.
Yeah.
What an addition.
He looks like the real deal. He doesn't look 30.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's well on the other side of his brain. He looks like he's in good shape.
Yeah. And honestly, with him and Jalen Carter and everybody that we didn't have last week, it really makes our defense look a lot better. Not Andrew, but my boy number 8, Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson looks a lot better. He looked a lot better today. I don't like how far back he be off the ball sometimes.
I think he does that because he doesn't want to get beat over the top.
I understand. That's not championship football though. Like Nick Saban and them said all the time. I'm a firm believer. At some point, you have to play man, or if not man, you got to step up.
Yeah,
it's football. Like we're gonna need that at some point, and you got to embrace that. You got to look forward to it, and it can't be something that you got to shun away from. You got to be always ready to do that. And I don't like that a lot about him. But overall, my biggest little ick. I don't want to be too early. And I know people seem like we're always blaming somebody else. I get how that's an argument. The OC scaring me a little bit. The OC scaring me, and let me tell you why. John made a fantastic point. I think this where we can make this change instantly. John made a phenomenal point. And I think everything is year to year. You know, last year I was saying first and second down, we need to run the ball. We need to run the ball. I think that was for that team. I do believe this year, with the type of year we had last year, we do need to switch it up more on first and second down. Yeah. John made a phenomenal point on that.
Too conservative, right?
Say it again.
Too conservative.
Definitely too conservative. And it's the same thing. Also, I don't like how I don't see no RPO. Am I tripping? I don't see no RPO. No, I don't see any RPO anymore. I don't really see any read option anymore. All Jalen Hurts runs seem to be either like design draws, design power runs, or scramble. There's no like option reads anymore. Which I think he should bring that back. I understand, like Lamar Jackson runs the ball. They do options. So Lamar can do options, Jalen Hurts can do options. So I don't know. I'm not out on it yet. I don't like my wide receivers not being open. And it's not that they're not running routes, and it's not on Jalen Hurts. And I know it seems like I'm saying it, but we've seen him in positions make the play. Now, obviously, I think it's kind of obvious. Jalen Hurts is a man-to-man type of quarterback. He loves the man-on-man. That's why when I see the ISO blitz, and I know he doesn't have any hot routes, that bothers me. But I don't mind the go ball. Like, we got two of the best receivers in the league. Yeah, it's one-on-one. I think we're going to win it. So
I'll take my chances, too, even if we don't. I'm good with that.
And even on the hot route, what are we talking about? We're talking about a drag or slant.
Dude, they don't do hot route. They do not use hot route. They see a blitz coming. Steve Spags, who's blitzing the entire effing game, call a hot route. Make life easier for your quarterback. Yeah. I don't know why they don't do it. I'm wondering, is that on Jalen Hurts too?
But I think, this is what I think.
Call some of those at the line.
Yeah, definitely. I think, but this is what I think. I'm not going to say the hot route, but that's kind of what I was saying is I think the hot route for them is the go ball. We're going.
Right. Check into it. You got man coverage on the outside.
We're going. It's Smitty and AJ on the outside. Now, one thing I did kind of, he went to Smitty both times. And I know it's man coverage. I don't know maybe if they bracket it towards AJ maybe, But both times on the one-on-one on the jump ball, because I'm guessing AJ had a go ball because it was an all-out blitz. All-out blitz.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't even cover one high. I mean, it was nobody high. Like, he went to
Cover,
Smitty
it
both
might have been
times.
a cover zero. I don't know what play you're talking about, but Spags was bringing the heat today for sure.
Yeah. The cover zero one, the one that Smitty caught, I'm pretty sure was cover zero, and the one that he dropped, I think was cover zero. I mean, he brought the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
He brought everybody. But I ain't really trying to hold up too much of the time, man. But I think we're fine. I think we're fine, Xander. I really do. I think the defense look good, man. Jahad Campbell, the young boys, they look good. Adoree Jackson is
Jahad
the only. That's the only thing we got to figure out how it is. I'm a little bit more confident today, but like they said, he didn't go against CeeDee Lamb. I mean, I think Big Seals and them was underrating the Chiefs wide receivers a little bit, saying Johnny Wilson can go over there. Although they're not big name guys, I like Thornton. Second week in a row watching him, I don't think he's a horrible. I mean, he's not.
Where did he play his college ball?
Huh?
Do you know where he played his college ball?
I'm not sure. I need to look into him though, because they got faith in him. Pat Mahomes like him too. Pat Mahomes like him.
Where'd he go? He went to Baylor. I knew he went to one of those schools out west. Yeah, he went to Baylor.
I kind of like him. Now, of course, when
Yeah,
word they know.
I hear you.
Now, I'm not saying, of course, but this Johnny Wilson, I love Johnny. That's a little bit of a skirt, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have said Dotson or something, I'm cool with that. You feel me? Like,
yeah, right.
But you know, it's a good win. Our offense do need to develop a little bit, man. I think it's fair to say that as an Eagles fan, you know, like,
yeah,
we're winning though. That's the most important. If we win like this the rest of the year, I ain't got nothing to say. But I think it is a natural feeling to just hope it don't bite us. I understand margin of error, and I was hard on John all last year. Bump the margin of error. I ain't trying to hear that, John. But it is something to say, like, I want my guys going. And even more than that, I want the spirit of the morale of the team up. I need my wide receivers involved.
Yeah, and I know where you were going earlier. AJ Brown ain't happy with the way they're playing.
He's not happy at all. And the reason why he said he's putting the book up, I think somebody said something maybe like, we're not having that this year. Even if they didn't say nothing, I think they just know it's just.
Yeah, you don't want to bring that type of attention. They didn't like that for sure.
You know, and once again, I'm not going at it because I'm a huge AJ Brown fan. I hate all this. I just hate. That's why I really don't want to speak on it, because I really feel like there's just so much around it, and it's bad mojo. It's bad mojo. It's bad for it. We win all our games when he's playing, so we obviously need him. So,
yeah.
But I don't know, man. We got to figure out. And I'm a little disappointed, man. For Kevin Patulo to be around for Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore, I would just feel like I expect more. But I got to see the film. I got to see the all 22, so I ain't going to talk too fast on it. I'm going to give him some more chance. We're 2-0.
Good stuff. All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. O-line Guru checking in. Thank you, my man. Good talking to you.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, later, man. That's good stuff. Caleb Brandon, O-line Guru checking in. Good stuff there from my boy. Let's keep rolling on. I got a couple more guys left. Clary Boy riding the bench, and M. Reyes. Let's go to M. Reyes. He joins me now on the post game show. There he is. What do you got on? What are you, an astronaut tonight?
We're going to the moon, Xander. We're going to the moon, and we're going to win another Super Bowl. That's what repeats are, okay? And we're doing it this year, right?
All right, M. Reyes. Hit me with some facts, my boy. What are you feeling? We're 2-0. All right. The offense doesn't look too inspiring. How are you feeling in the M. Reyes? Oh, God. What is that you're drinking? From the Eagle?
Yeah,
you got water in there, though, right? It's Sunday night. You got work in the morning. That's water, right?
Sure. So, I guess, what do we pull away? First thing we pull away is who's number one? Jalen Hurts is number one, okay? And he brings the W every time, all right? So, yeah, I mean, you'll want to be worried about it, but we had 4 games to figure things out, and we're better off this season, technically. We're 2-0, better than 1-1. I'd rather have that egg in the loss column than, not an egg,
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, do you feel, I know you're M. Reyes, so it's 52-3 all the time, but like, do you feel any sort of way about the passing game at all? Like you don't even think it's a topic. Is that right? Or are you like, we got AJ Brown, he could have more than 30 yards in 2 games?
We gotta look into the accreditation of Stoutland University, because it's looking like Stoutland Community College right now.
No.
And I hate to say it, but Hurts barely had any time. And they sent the house They blitzed over 60-something% of the time, and yeah, like on dropbacks anyway. And part of that does fall on Patulo. Patulo has to, like, not necessarily scheme out of that, but call something to break that and discourage them. And they weren't discouraged all night from doing that. We didn't pay them back for that.
No, I agree. Do you feel good about? How do you feel about the defense?
Oh man, our defense is going to be.
You got no holes. You got no holes.
It's getting hot. It's getting hot, baby. We got the rise of
Not as hot as the hot pink shirt you're wearing, but hot, right?
Wine shirt.
I know, it's got to be some sort of Jalen Hurts shirt. I know it's not. All right, it's wine. Was that your wife's?
No. We both ran a vineyard. That's where we got that from.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty fun.
All right, good stuff. All right, Emery, it's good to have you on, brother. I know you're eternally optimistic, which I think we can appreciate here on the show. But passing game's got to pick it up a little, Emery.
I think it'll go. What is it? It's something like 40+ years experience of DC versus Patulo in these first 2 games. And I think, we just got to come to a break. He's gonna learn how to use the Iron Man suit. He's gonna learn all the buttons and all that stuff. So don't worry about it. We're gonna strike it hot when it matters. And I think coupled with the rise of the people on defense, we have 2 rookies that are starting to show up really
they
well.
look good, man. I agree.
And,
they look good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried at all. I had a really good time today, and sucks to be a Chiefs fan, huh?
It does. All right, brother. Good stuff, Emery. I love you, brother. Appreciate you doing it. Appreciate you being here and supporting JAKIB Sports. I love you. Thank you, dude.
Take care, y'all. Be safe.
There's Emery. Good stuff from the great, the legendary Emery. Emery was good when it came to boxing Sileo. I'll give him credit for that. But Emery, you got some work to do when it comes to hanging in the ring with Zay, all right? Let's go to my man, Clary Boy, then riding the bench, going by order of who joined me. All right, Clary Boy, what's going on, my man? How you been?
What's up, man? First time this year.
Yeah, how you doing? How was your summer? Good, brother?
It was good, man. It was good. Kids keep me busy,
Good,
and then just work.
Man. It's better to be busy with the kids than not, all right? Than the alternative. The log cabin is back and looks pretty good, though.
I appreciate it. Yeah, dude. Eagle season.
You look like you're like a cartoon or something.
You know what? I don't even know. I just my computer's a piece of shit, man. Like every time I turn on, something's going on with it. So I'm stuck here today.
All right, well, what do you think of the Eagles? Let's go to the Eagles. What do you think, bro? 2-0. I mean, look, it's better than the alternative. It's as good as you can start when you have 2 games to start a year. What do you think so far?
Well, I mean, the offense is the offense. Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. I mean, I don't know how we expected anything else. Like, we have the players to be probably the greatest show on grass, but last year we didn't look it. I think it's just a matter of, like, whatever defenses give us, they'll take. And, the defense, I think they're going to lean on the defense, actually. And the defense, surprisingly, is better than I expected. Last week I was like, yeah, they're exactly what I thought they were, but they also didn't have Jalen Carter. This week, it didn't look as bad. Yeah, granted that you could be like, well, the skill players are different. Okay, maybe next week it'll be different. But as of right now, man, I think the defense is probably going to be top 5 by the end of the season. It looks like Vic's going to pull a rabbit out of his hat again.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. How do you gauge the level of competition with that defense? You had the Dallas last week. Now they got good receivers. I think that Dallas team is a little better than Eagles fans have given them credit for. And then you got the Chiefs today, who are, they're not particularly a loaded offense. I know they got Mahomes, but they don't really have that many dudes that strike fear. Especially Kelsey now is clearly on the decline. So I don't know. I mean, I think that goes into it as well. I'd like to see. I'm excited for the game next week. You got Puka Nacua. You got DeVonta Adams. You got Matthew Stafford. They got that defense over there. I think next week's going to be a great game too, and a good test for that defense.
Yeah, but you also got to remember last year, the game wasn't really close. It only was close in the snow. The snow slowed down the Eagles, not the Rams. The Rams got in that game because of the snow. If they can't stop Saquon next week, we won't have our passing game next week either. And they're going to go and punt the ball. They're going to get them inside the 20. They're going to play defense, and that's it. That's going to be the game next week. I don't know why you all expect it to be different. You really think they're going to be able to stop the run? I don't think one dude's he's gonna get off the field at some point. You know?
Yeah, no, he's not. I mean, he's not going to be the end all be all, but maybe collectively as a unit, they're better. We'll see how it all shakes out. All right, brother. Thank you for joining in today. 2-0. Hope to talk to you again next week. Didn't get you last week, but we were late into the night because of the delay and everything. So
I had work in the morning. So yeah.
All right, brother. Good stuff, man. I'll
talk
talk to you again soon. All right.
See you.
All right, later, dude. There's Clary Void joining in. Great stuff from Clary Void. All right, we got one more left. Let's go to my man, Rod in the bench. Good to talk to him. It'll be my first time talking to him this season as well. There he is. What's going on, brother? How you been?
I'm doing all right, man. Congratulations to you, like Anton said.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Outside of the podcast, so good stuff, man.
I like your setup. Dude. You got B-Dog, you got the Eagles, you got the
man.
Skyline. That looks good, man.
We had to up the game a little bit. Just
yeah,
a little bit. So
I like it,
man.
That.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
What do you think? Birds are 2-0, brother. Let's start with the Eagles offense. Is Kevin Patulo? Where's your meter? 1 through 10. What's your concern meter on Kevin Patulo?
If I had to put a number on it, probably a 5. I don't think he quite has a flow for play calling yet.
Yeah, I think was that you who put that super chat today?
No, I didn't
no. Okay, somebody put a super chat. He's got to learn play call. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's really more what it is because it just like I don't see a rhyme or reason for some of the sequencing of the plays. Even last year it looked sluggish, but like there was rhyme or reason for it with Kellen Moore, and it like made sense based on the team. This doesn't make sense. Like we're running a lot of concepts that like spread the defense horizontally and then try to run vertically when I think it should be the opposite. Right. You know what I mean? We have receivers who can get behind the defense and like we're not utilizing that. Now part of that's like Joe Whipp said, he mentioned it with Dickerson and Juergens like being injured, not getting enough protection. Maybe it limits his play calling a bit, but you know, at the same time, it's like at some point we kind of have to just let it rip at some point, man. Like if you know, like Pittsburgh last year, he was aggressive in the play calling. They were aggressive throwing the ball down the field. Good output. NFC title game. We were aggressive going after the Washington defense. Biggest output of the year. And then in the Super Bowl, we were aggressive as hell because we just let it rip. Caution was thrown to the wind and it yielded good results. I think the theme of everybody's, sentiment is that we're too cautious. And I think that's just, again, the games early on in the season count the same as the end. We don't want to turn the ball over. I get it because that's the way to win football games in the NFL. But, at this point, if you really want to have him develop as a quarterback the way they want the offense to look, chuck the ball. Like,
so
honestly.
I agree with you. And so how do you personally gauge, this? I'm not sure if you heard the stat I gave out, but the last 19 games, they're 18-1. They got 39 takeaways and 8 giveaways. It's like, I think that's the reason.
It's an insane stat.
Right. And I think that's the reason that they don't even care to. It's like,
I agree.
If we win the turnover battle, we win the football game. Like that's what it seems to be for the Eagles. And they're almost so committed to that. They care more about that than advancing the passing game. And hey, maybe they're right.
Maybe they're right.
What do you think?
Well, listen, run the ball, stop the run, don't turn the ball over. That's what's worked in the NFL for its entirety of its existence, right? That's football 101, right? You do that, you're going to win football
Top corner shit right there.
Yeah. And honestly, when you have the talent Philadelphia has, they almost feel like it doesn't matter what we run. Talent's just going to beat whoever's the guy in front of us. You know what I mean? That's what happened. We saw it today on a go ball with DeVonta. He's just better than the other guy on that play, So, I mean, I don't like the fact that A.J. Brown's only got 30 yards on the year. Like, I think that's something that we can maybe address a little bit more. But, like you said, they want to win games. They don't want to turn the ball over. We're doing that. And, I mean, it's worked the past, 20 games that we played, so like it's tough to argue the results.
It really is. And then you can even go further. I mean, I know the last 20 games are obviously superb, but let's be real. Since Jalen and Nick Sirianni showed up, this team fucking wins, man. They win a lot. We are used to them winning and us coming up here and bitching about them winning. Because honestly, they just win and there's still shit to bitch about, but they just keep winning. Where are you on the defense, man? 2 games in. I think they've had 2 pretty good performances. Now, there is some context. The Cowboys and the Chiefs who aren't, they didn't have a lot of playmakers, but I think they're much ahead of schedule. What do you think of the defense right now?
I think it's reflective of coaching that they're much ahead of schedule. You got a Vic Fangio who's been around the league for 40-plus years, right? And Kevin Patulo's got a first-time play caller. There's going to be a difference in how both sides of the ball look. And I honestly think they just know what their identity is on defense. Like, I think they know what they want to do. They know who they are. And the results speak for themselves. Zadarius Smith looked excellent today, just being like a veteran presence that I think we needed. And then on the back end, Makuba looked good. He looked like a rookie. That's just what it is. I think he's going to get better as the year goes on. Same with Campbell. Looked excellent today, I thought, in my opinion. He just all around the ball, flying around.
I couldn't believe they didn't throw the flag on him on that one play.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, a rookie
man,
gets
we looked
Mahomes.
at, listen, man, we looked out on some of these calls in this game. It was really physical. They really kind of let these guys play. Which
I like that.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Like who knows how it's going to be in the playoffs when we play like other teams like that, right? So, but the defense looks better than I thought. I didn't think they would look this good early on, especially from the second half of the Cowboys game to where they are now. Like they have not given up a lot of big chunk plays at all. I mean, yeah, assisted by drops, albeit, right? But like, you know what? That's the nature of the beast, right? You capitalize on the play. Luck is the residue of design. All the cliches we can talk about. When you're in the right spot, you're in the right spot. And they were there to make the play. And, that's all we can ask for on defense. I'll trade yardage for points any day. So, but yeah, no, defense looks good. I kind of like where we are. And hopefully the offense picks up a little bit more and, on to next week against the Rams. So,
any concern on Jalen Hurts?
In what way?
As it pertains to the passing game with Kevin Patulo. I asked for the scale on Patulo. I would just say, all right, if it's 5 on Kevin, is it anywhere on Hurts? Do you think it's more on Patulo than Hurts? I mean, where are you on that?
I mean, we've seen this offense have spurts of like excellent play. I don't know if it's Hurts or not. I think he's just running the offense that's been given to him. And,
I think in a lot of ways he is who he is, and I'm good with that.
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
I don't need him to be somebody he's not.
I don't need to throw him for 45. He doesn't.
I don't need 45 grand.
Like I don't give a crap about that. Just win the game. Don't turn the ball over. And honestly, look, when he does have to make the throw, more oftentimes than not, he makes the throw. So like in that sense, like I'm okay with it looking sluggish at times, and because he's such an off-rhythm player, I'm expecting an off-rhythm offense at times.
Yeah,
but,
I think that's a really good way to look at it.
You know what I mean? Like it's going to look like that. But again,
off-rhythm player, don't expect an on-rhythm offense. It's a great way to look at it, though.
So like in that sense, he just kind of is what he is. But I do want to see the ball get to AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith more down the field. I think they have the skill set to do it, and I think they deserve an opportunity to showcase that skill set. I know we have Saquon in this offensive line, but let it rip, man. Like honestly, like what do you have to lose? Like you're not going to lose. You're not losing the game by letting AJ Brown and DeVonta touch the ball more. So I wish I were able to see that a little bit more, but me, as long as we get the win, I'm pretty happy. So.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I think a lot of that is true. Now, I don't want to fall into the trap that we did in 23 where we're 10-1 and like, oh, everything's fine. And then it's like, holy shit.
Exactly.
If we looked one layer deeper, we would have seen a collapse coming. So I don't think we're there yet, to be clear.
No, I agree with you. I think people are kind of overstepping that a little bit. Like this team doesn't seem disjointed in that sense.
Right.
Like it just seems.
But the one thing I would say like about that would be, if the running game isn't going to work as well as to the level it did, which is a tough ask for it to work to the level it did, if it's not going to be that good, which I think we can all agree it's most likely not. Now maybe it is, but it most likely is not. Where do you pick up that slack? Is it defensively? Is it offensively? Tough to go improve from the number one defense. So I think it's fair to look for a little bit more, knowing you have DeVonta and AJ. But I'm more in your camp. We keep winning, and I don't see any of those
because
cracks in the foundation yet.
I agree, because in the playoffs, man, I don't think anybody wants to see us. You know what I mean? Like I still think we're in that ballpark of
we're a juggernaut, dude.
We're a juggernaut, right? Like so we're built for December, January, and February. That's what we're built for. Everything else is just gravy. So
and
as long as we get to the dance.
And it's September 14th. It's so fucking hot outside, dude.
Know,
like it's all right, we got time.
Yeah, man, exactly. 100%.
All right, good stuff, man. Love talking with you right on the bench. Appreciate you doing it today, man. Looking forward to talking to you again soon. All right, brother?
Thanks, man. Take care, bro. Peace
out.
out.
All right, good stuff, man. Love him, man. Great stuff there from all the great people of JAKIB Nation. I love talking with you guys. All right, I love talking with you guys. Great stuff. We had Akbar, we had Joe Whip, we had Anton in here, we had Clary Voy right on the bench. We had O-line Guru. Who did I miss? Anybody that I missed? Good appearances tonight from everybody. I thought everybody. Joe Whip, my bad, Joe. I thought everybody brought a good different opinion to the show tonight, which was pretty good. But again, and I'll say this again, and I'll get to the super chats in a second here. I'll say this one more time. And I honestly believe this. And for anybody that says, "Oh, I'm not. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm like you guys. All right. I'm not John, who's trying to be objective. I'm not Sileo, who loves pissing you guys off. I'm an Eagles fan. I don't think it's unfair for us to all say, "Hey, we got AJ Brown, DeVonta Smith. Like, we got 35 yards to AJ Brown through 2 games. Like, should it be a little? I don't think it's unfair to expect a little bit more out of the offense that is the number 1 paid offense in football. I'll say that again. They make more money on offense. The Eagles pay more money on offense than any other team in the league, and it's not particularly close. I would urge you to go and look it up on Spot Track or Spotrack, however you say that. So I don't think it's unfair to say that, but at the same time, I'm not sounding alarms or anything like that. I just think, all right, we got these dudes, and they're all this fucking good. We got to figure out a way to, to try and get everybody more involved and make everything look a little bit better. But I do understand there's a lot that goes into it, man. And there's a lot of different ways to win a football game. It doesn't have to be a certain way. And I actually thought the line of the show was by riding the bench right there, where great job by him, by the way. But you have an off-rhythm quarterback who makes his hay off script. You can't expect the offense to be fully on rhythm all the time. That's just not that's not our game. That's not the way we play. That's not the way Jalen plays. That's not the way this offense is going to play. And I thought that was maybe the line of the show tonight from riding the bench. I think that makes a lot of sense. And, you look at it that way and you kind of expect, hey, there's going to be ups and downs. Sometimes it's going to look prettier than other times, and other times it's going to look spotty. But the one thing that's constant, we keep fucking winning football games, So it is an interesting way to look at it. But I think overall, as everybody has mentioned, and as everybody knows, you're 2-0. It's much better than the alternative at this point. All right, much better than the alternative. So 20-17, the Birds win today. It was a good one. Let's go to some super chats here. Akbar Devon. What's up, Akbar? Appreciate you joining tonight, my man. Good to talk with you as always. By the way, Akbeezy, when that bald head is shining, that's a good look, my friend. All right, that's a good look for you. He says, I didn't hear Brady criticize the offense at all. It's interesting you say that. I didn't hear it either on the play call from him. And if you remember, back to the playoff game he called on the Eagles last year, was it the Packer game or was it the Ram game? It was either the Packer game or the Ram game that Brady was pretty critical of our offense in that game on the play call on the as the color commentator. All right. So I didn't hear it either. I don't know what that means, but it's week 2. Maybe Brady understands that it's week 2. So we'll see. Giovanni, what's up, Giovanni? He says, Z, we are not paying them to block is the issue. Well, that's kind of the point, Giovanni. You're paying them to, to get yards and to catch passes, and they're not. So what, how do you gauge that when you have players as talented? I mean, I have people in here who debate me, that DeVonta Smith's a better receiver than CeeDee Lamb, that DeVonta Smith's a top 10 receiver in football. I don't think it's crazy for us to say, hey, man, we should use them more. But I think the bottom line is they keep winning and they have their formula for how to do it. And it's, sometimes it doesn't look too pretty, but they keep winning, man. They really do. Akbar says it was one of those games. It was, Akbar. You're right, man. Look, it's early. It's really early. Q-Ball says, tap me in, Z. Q-Ball, I sent you the link. You didn't click it. I don't know what you want me to do. What do you need me to hold your hand? Q, you need me to drive to your house, load up your computer, set up your mic and your camera, click the link and join. You need me to do it all for you? What's next, Q? You need me to wipe your ass for you? Come on, Q. I'm just kidding, brother. I love you. Primetime Steven, what's up, Primetime? He says, Lions are going to boat race the Eagles. Yeah, everybody told me that same shit last year, Primetime. Never happened. In fact, they couldn't even get past the Commanders, who we beat 55-23 in the NFC Championship game. So until the Lions come to Philly and do that, then I'm not buying the bullshit narrative that the Lions are going to boat race the Eagles. Every game has a personality. Every team looks different depending on who their opponent is. If you think that offense is going to just look like the Lions offense when we play them, you got another thing coming, Steven. They're not. Newsflash, they're not. Vic Fangio and this defense will have a plan that is better than what they did today, than what the Bears had, okay? Appreciate you, Prime. Q, again, anyone blaming Hurts for anything don't know ball. Well, Q, I agree from a sense of it's not all Jalen Hurts' fault. But Q, at some point, people are right where it's like you got to pull the trigger. You got AJ DeVonta. It's not always going to be a wide open receiver. If you got a tight window and you got a guy in man coverage, you got a one-on-one, and you make the throw. Now, hey, maybe they care more about the turnovers and they've instructed Jalen, don't make those throws. Maybe they have. I don't know. But I think I don't think you can just sit here and say the passing offense is underwhelming. The passing offense is underwhelming. It has nothing to do with the quarterback. I don't think that's fair. We got to be honest with ourselves. I mean, if there's something wrong with the passing game, or we don't think the passing game is reaching its potential, you could say, you can't just say, okay, it's the guy holding the clipboard only. I mean, come on. That's not entirely a good way to look at it. Q says, it says I'm in the waiting room. I don't see, you're not in my waiting room. Is there a big blue button that says enter studio? Click that thing. Do you see me on the screen if you're in the waiting room? I don't see you, dude. You're not here. I would pull you up if you were here. There's nobody in the green room. It's just me. All right. Z out here. Big Mike, I don't think I've been roasting anybody. I just had to take Q. I just had to show Q a little bit. Naz, what's up, brother? Good to see you in here, Naz. Here, let's go to Andres. What's up, Andres? Zander, it's a lot easier to fix issues at 2-0 than it is at 0-2. It's well stated, my friend. I agree 100%. All right, I agree 100%. Naz says, I want Jalen to pull the trigger. He's playing efficient, but he could get more out of the passing. I think that's fair. All right, I think that's fair, dude. All right. Slagger checking in. What's up, Slag? Good to see you, my man. Hope everything is going well for you, Slagger. Pay attention when J-Mac says the way to beat Hurts is to take away his first read. J-Mac knows people around the league, and that's not his own thought. Other DCs have told him that, I'm pretty sure. I think you're right, Slag. He also said that a lot about Patrick Mahomes. They took away the first read and got there with the pass rush. I mean, in a way, Slagger, Slag, I agree, but isn't that for most quarterbacks? You take away the first read and you have a good pass rush, they're cooked. Now, yeah, you have quarterbacks that are great. You have fast processors like Joe Burrow, who can get through 3-4 reads, and those are the elite of the elite when it comes to processing. And maybe you're right there, but Slager, I'll point you to the pregame show where John said the exact same thing today about Patrick Mahomes. Take away the first read, and if you have the pass rush to get there, they're going to be in hell. He said that about the Super Bowl. That's why the Super Bowl was so pretty. They took away the first read, and the pass rush got home. Mahomes couldn't do shit. So in a way, it's kind of universal for everybody, So Emery says they tried a similar game plan against us in the Super Bowl, and it was marginally more successful today. Well, it was definitely more successful today. They did some things different, though. Right on the benches. That's for a lot. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I agree. Brian Pump says, Xander, that A.J. Brown interview, he's butthurt. Is it just now? I'm on the air, Pump, so I haven't had a chance to see it, but I'll check it out once I'm off. For sure. One thing I hate about the postgame show is I don't get a chance to kind of see what everybody says. So let me see if I can see anything. What I want to see is the Jalen Hurts going back to Chris Jones. Shut your ass up, he said. Shut your ass up. Oh, that's great. That is great. So, all right, everybody. Great post-game show tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, man, and appreciate all the great people who joined me on the post-game show tonight. It was great, as always. I love talking with everybody. I thought everybody brought some good takes tonight. Anton, riding the bench. Ack Beezy Fasheezy. Joe Whip, as always. Good to talk to everybody, man. O-line Guru, good to see you, my friend. Clary Voy, good to see Clary Voy after a little bit. All right, I will announce we do have a jersey giveaway. All right, we'll have a jersey giveaway. The defense only gave up 17 points, so We got a jersey giveaway. I'm supposed to pick up more this week. I was supposed to connect with my jersey guy yesterday, but I wasn't able to do it. So I'm picking up more jerseys this week. So if you're not a member, become a member. If you're not, don't want to do it on the YouTube channel, you can go to jakibsports.com and do it over there. You get extra entries for the giveaway for being a member on the website. So either be a member on the channel or a member on the website. As long as you're a member somewhere, you're entered into the giveaway. All right. Let's go to Q Ball. Big super chat here. Q, thank you, brother. Q says, don't get me wrong. Does Hurts need to get better? Sure. But anyone single-handedly blaming him with a carousel at OC every year? Come on. I'm tired of the schoolyard offensive coordinator play calling. Well, I think that's largely fair, but no, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think it's all Hurts. I don't. So I agree with you. I mean, in a sense, if you wanted me to play the devil's advocate, the pushback would say every coordinator comes here and looks like our offense, not like their offense. I mean, Q, go look at what Kellen Moore, who just won a Super Bowl in Philly, go look at what his offense has looked like. Go look at what his offense has looked like. All right. In fact, I'll just pull it up right here. And he don't particularly have a great quarterback over there. So they lost the game today. Spencer Rattler was 25 of 34 for 207 and 3 touchdowns. All right, so 34 passing attempts. In week 1, they lost as well. Spencer Rattler was 27 of 46 passing attempts. So I'm just saying, like, Kellen Moore became more like Jalen Hurts than Jalen Hurts came like Kellen Moore. Like, way more. Like, it's not even close. Like, Kellen Moore went to the Saints, and he's running his offense, and they're throwing the ball 46 times. Now, again, I'm not saying that's a better formula. I'm not. I'm just saying to you, offensive coordinators who are in Philly are playing more like the quarterback need or calling more like the quarterback needs than the opposite. They're not like asking Jalen to like be somebody he's not. Jalen averaged what? 22, 23, 24 passing attempts a game last year. The formula worked. No problem with it. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that wasn't Kellen Moore's like style as an offensive coordinator. It wasn't. Is this Kevin Patulo style? I don't know. He was formerly a passing game coordinator. Giovanni brings up a point I like that I don't think was mentioned today. Nick made better decisions than Reid today. I agree with that. I think Nick coached a good football game today. I thought Nick coached a good game. Excuse me. I'm yawning. Drinking this Sun Sip, whatever the hell it's called. Fulat says, I don't know if I said that right. Sorry, dude. Fulat. I bet you things change if Tanner McKee was in there. Well, I mean, Fulat, with all due respect to you, I don't know if you're new here. I've never seen you in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Hit the like button. You're always welcome here, and your opinions will always be welcome here. Thanks, Captain Obvious. I mean, Fulat, come on, dude. Every fucking quarterback has a different offense. That's like not hard to say. Tanner McKee can't run. I mean, it's obviously going to look different. Like, I don't think you're saying anything groundbreaking there. Oh, where's my boy Reyes? I meant to show him. Reyes likes my live. I put a new band on there, Reyes. I figured you'd like it. Put the black on there. It's big, though. I got to go get a link out. So. All right, everybody. I appreciate it, man. Hit that like button. Thanks for joining in tonight on the JAKIB Postgame Show. I think it was a good show, as always. I want to thank everybody for doing it, everybody for being here. Hit the like button. All right. I mentioned the membership, so if you're not, we'll be doing a giveaway probably Tuesday on the show. All right, on Birds 365 after on Zander time. So good stuff there. Appreciate you all watching. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time, everybody.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.